Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Denari's Half Dozen. I'm Commander Pulsar. This is my crew of... no, wait, Crew of Scoundrels is that other show. Never mind. These are my heroes of Eversync. And we're also doing a finale this week. So, anyway... No, welcome in. I would say if you're if it's your first time here and you're watching the finale, good luck. Sorry. There's a YouTube channel and all the shows are there. Go catch up real quick, I guess. No,
we're also on Apple
it
Podcasts,
is fine.
Spotify.
Thank you, Spotify playlists. The city of Eversync is the crown jewel of the world, the largest city and the biggest center of trade, the place where everyone wants to live. Just ask them. These folks are kind of working in here, have done some work for the very goddess of the city, the goddess Denari, the goddess of commerce, civilization, and trade. And saved her life once, which not everybody, well, actually very, very, very few people can actually say. So in the process of tracking down the people who shot the goddess in the first place, they have found their way here to a bathhouse where there were cultists and zombies, and they have kind of defeated some of those and are a little roughed up, but had an opportunity to interrogate the one of the cultists and discovered that the magic that led them here, the taint of corruption that sorcery produces, wasn't actually here, but far below them. And pulling the secrets out of this cultist's mind, learning that he had used his sense of that corruption to go down to where that spell took place and find something. But he didn't do it. It wasn't his spell, but it led him to a place. And I think, well, I guess I'll find out that what happens next is kind of up to our friends here. I guess we'll go around Popcorn Initiative, introduce everyone as well. This time we'll start with Alwyn, with Cole.
Hi there, everyone. I'm Cole, aka Ice Cold Brew. My pronouns are he, him, they, them, and I will be playing Alwyn. You're currently wandering around in a statue body, little guy. And to throw it, let's give it over to Aki.
Hi, my name is Aki. My pronouns are she, they, and I will be playing Pax, whose pronouns are she, they. So, Stephanie.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Allen of Charm Person Games. My pronouns are she, her, and I am playing Lady Adarin Logorio, also she, her, who's in the middle of ripping secrets out of that cultist's mind. And Kitty.
Hi, I'm Kitty. My pronouns are she, her, and I am playing Riona Okierin of the Fontavni, who also has she, her pronouns. Back to you, Pulsar.
All right. So yeah, there's and I have pronouns appropriate to all the NPCs. So though personally mine are he, him. But yeah, so yeah, here we are in this room, kind of in the aftermath. I think Riona's fine, Pax. I think the most hurt are probably Adarin, and did Alwyn get banged up a little bit?
I'm fine.
They're fine now.
Good.
Riona
We're
took care of
we're
me.
fine
We're
now. We took care of it. All right, fair enough.
Definitely no lasting repercussions and everything is fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
'Cause-
You'll
'cause
just be
that's-
sore for a while.
It's fine.
Just need a little
Yes.
nap. It's okay.
There's never any repercussions from magical healing because sorcery never does anything bad ever. All sorcerers are good, and yeah, sure. Yeah.
We're good sorcerers.
There are good.
We try to
sorcerers.
be.
Mhm.
Some of us harder than others, I think, but yeah.
Speaking of good sorcery, though, and the cost of doing sorcery, if I remember right, we had done some sorcery to pluck some of those secrets out of this cultist's head, but haven't done the roll to see how the corruption goes.
Right,
And
should I still have a third question?
we still have a third question, and if you think of a good one, I'm down for it. And I will ask my question as GM always when sorcery is cast and corruption is spent is, are you going to externalize that corruption?
Of course not. Never.
Okay. The answer, okay, fair enough. The answer is so far still no. That's fine. Then in that case, there's a roll to make.
Yes. So
Which is I believe you spent 1 point of corruption on this guy.
no, I put 2.
You put 2 into that?
I
Okay.
put
That
2 into
means
that. Yeah.
that means that you need a 5
Yeah.
on this health check.
Yeah. And because I'm assuming we're going right into another round of combat, so I'm not spending any health points.
You're not spending any health points. You're
I
just gonna
only
hope to
have
roll
7.
a 5.
I have an iron will and spaghetti arms. Okay.
That seems
I
that
relate to
seems
that.
fair for sorcerers.
Quick
I rolled
question.
a 5.
You rolled a 5. All
Yay.
right.
I
Hey.
was sure I was going to fail, but I rolled a 5.
Okay.
You know what?
Fantastic.
Never mind about
That
my
is
question.
Excellent
But
start.
that just means that the way that the sorcery twists and changes your body is something that isn't noticeable instead of something completely obvious. Fair enough.
Actually,
So yeah.
can I propose a bargain, GM?
I'm listening.
I will take failing this roll if I could get another question and have a total of 4.
Ooh. Okay.
You know it'll be fun.
I'm fine with it. That sounds great. I'm just like, I don't. What does this guy know that you're getting? All right.
We're gonna find out.
right.
Backup questions.
Excellent.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know absolutely one of the questions I want to ask then is, so I'd asked, what is the cult up to now? And we found out they're in shambles because their plans completely fell through because we ruined
Right.
them.
They did
Go
not
us.
successfully kill the goddess. Yes.
Yes, I got a list of names and faces of all of the members of this cult. And he was going to lead the cultists down to an altar of the Serpentine below, since he knows that a spell was cast there, and dedicate it to Codist, meaning that he and the cultists did not cause the corruption that we're feeling. So does that mean that they didn't cause the corruption on the one that's like down below the city, or they didn't cause the corruption of all like the surface points that we've been finding?
Well, all the points that apparently had to do with the time travel, with the time loop thing. So far, this is the theory that I understand that y'all have put together so far. Are at different points. Some of them are like rooftop access places. This one happens to be deep underground.
Right.
And I believe the current theory that those were because the shape of them on the map formed a glyph that was involved with one of the books that Adarin and Alwyn had tied to again and again. Which again, the title sounds a lot better in Serpentine, but
so what was the answer to that question then?
The probably, I mean, you believe that place where he's talking about, that Serpentine altar, has to do with that time spell because it fits the glyph from the book about time spells.
Right. So they didn't cause any of the corruption points around the city then?
Probably not.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I understood the answer to that question correctly. Okay. Then I'm going to ask, has he been in contact with this Serpentine that has spoken directly to me twice? Or I guess any Serpentine, but yeah. Has he experienced anything like that?
There's like because you're riffling through his memory and don't find it. I mean, is this a question? How are these questions going? Is this a mind to mind thing? Is any of these questions being spoken aloud or
no? Like he's not here. Like when he like, you know, when my eyes get big and he like feels like he's falling forward into that pit, like he's not in his mind. Like I like literally take his mind and put him somewhere, and then I'm just rifling through like the empty house of his mind. Is how I picture this.
Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, it's so yeah, there aren't any images, or I mean, he has the magic he has learned is kind of in the same way that you have, is learned from old books of serpentine magic, but also he's got this combination of serpentine books, but also kind of this he was a sailor and found these books of serpentine wisdom after he had been shipwrecked in a storm. So he's got that kind of flavor that he kind of himself is a devotee of the storm god that led him to this magic. And so
he's never had an experience of talking directly to a serpentine themselves like I have.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there is not an image. I mean, if you kind of put the word in his head, the image he has of a serpentine person is poorly formed at best and does not line up with anything that you've seen in prophecy.
Right.
You know, kind of like a, you know, child's drawing of like dinosaurs and stuff. It's just, yeah, it's like just a guy with a raptor head, or, you know,
if
kind of a lizard with a wand and a magic hat, you know, that kind of thing. He just doesn't have a really good grasp of what
he's
a serpentine sorcerer. Yeah, you know, pretty much. Yeah, he's got, you know,
correct me
a monitor lizard with a pipe. You know, just whatever. Just kind of a.
Correct me if I'm misremembering, but doesn't Darren have like reptilian features going on, like some snake-like scales and like
she's
stuff
got
like that?
Scales. That's why she like covers her whole body except for her hands and her face. They're mostly along her spine and following her ribs.
Okay.
Very little of that is obvious.
Yeah, like if she wore like short sleeves or like a backless dress, it would be super obvious. It's just like it's been so many tiny things and built up into like half of her back is now scaled kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it happens. You know,
it's the price you pay. Okay.
I mean, it's a good thing you chose to not have like, oh, you know, every time I cast a spell, my eyes move around a little bit. You know, they might be over here by now. You don't know.
Ooh, God. Okay, so I will take suggestions for the last question, but
some sorcerers have extra.
Yeah. Anybody have ideas for the last question?
What kind of things we can expect going down the stairwell to that altar?
Might be good.
Go ahead, Kitty.
What'd you have, Kitty?
Oh, I was saying that might be good.
I was like, I think she was just agreeing.
Yeah. Okay, sure. I'll ask that one then. What does he know about this altar underneath and how to get there and what the way there is like, what to expect?
You kind of have like a rapid just array of images of him kind of finding the place the first time, and you know, stairwells and hallways, and there was at one point a hallway that just ends in this huge open shaft that he kind of had to go down with rope, and you see that he had to go down and then climb back up and get more rope and go down again. So there's that, and yeah, there are a couple places where there's water underground, like more of kind of a D&D style sewer of corridors where water has worn the center in, and you know, it's kind of running like streams and things like that. Mm-hmm. And finally the room is a very large space with that altar in kind of in the edge, or in the edge, kind of in the middle of it, and very kind of in my head, the kind of serpentine architecture is very kind of Mesopotamian, Babylonian kind of thing, where it's a little ziggurat-ish and things like that. That it's like in that brick where stuff is like cuneiformed into it, kind of thing. There's a version. There's probably a version of serpentine writing that is very much like cuneiform that you would do into clay and stuff like that, because it's kind of an old civilization. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that altar, you kind of picture that you get a clear shot of that it is definitely that kind of thing with almost a pyramid top in the center and a couple like 4 pillars around it, and the whole sides of it are covered in serpentine cuneiform and stuff like that. But yeah, and yes, there's the chasms and water to cross and things like that. So yeah. So you get some ideas. I think probably what I would say is I'm going to be vague about some of that, so that if we get to some of those things, we can say, oh yeah, you knew about this.
Yeah, that works for me.
Right? You got this out of you know this was coming because you got this out. Oh, you remember this out of that when you were digging around in that guy's head. So what are you doing with this guy?
So I'm just standing there with like my hand in the back of his hair, and I've like yanked his head back at him. So like to everyone else, it just looks like we're very intensely staring at each other, and neither of us is moving.
Staring contest.
And it's like probably stretching on like a kind of to a length of time where everybody's kind of like looking at each other like, are they okay? Should we do something? And then I will just like look back and like, like and like just let go of his head, and he's probably like disoriented and like dizzy and swaying. And then I'm just gonna make like a face, like
he kind of slumps and sits down like pretty much where he is. His knees kind of wobble and he's down on his butt.
So I will make a really like pained expression, and just like I have to like immediately go to like my waist, but I don't make any noise. But I think there's Darren's coat, because she was a very kind of like very like tight fitting stiff leather coat, like it doubles as leather armor, very highly tailored, and I picture it as being like like almost like laced very tightly over a shirt kind of thing. Like it's like not a coat that you remove, it's a coat that's like it is part of your outfit. It's not like outerwear.
Okay.
And it's fitting a lot very tightly now through her waist in a way that it wasn't before, and like oddly as if she might have grown some extra ribs all of a sudden underneath it.
Excellent, because that's extra ribs are great.
Yeah, it's very you ever seen a snake skeleton? They're all ribs.
It's just So you're saying barbecued snake would be great?
No. Snake is very gamey and kind of chewy.
More spirit. Oh.
I grew up in the country, y'all. I've had snake and gator and all of that, so I'm a southerner. What do you want from me?
Yeah. How can you make jokes in the face of like actual knowledge? No, it's all good.
And so I think that I'll turn and look at like everyone, and I guess Alwyn's still just kind of like, oh.
I was just passed out. So
and I'll say I didn't get as much as I wanted. He's resisting me. He shouldn't be able to. But the cultists, they didn't cause this corruption. This is something else.
Let's go find somebody else.
It's probably Serpentine directly.
Hockey's like, I did all this work.
Serpentine directly, as in a serpentine is behind it?
That's my current working theory with time travel magic.
Okay.
'Cause, yeah. Otherwise, the last anyone has seen a living, breathing member of the Serpentine Empire was like 2,500 years ago. So yeah.
Like I'm gonna kind of look at all of this, like the church militant who are here,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of like
Yeah. Oleander's like shaken. I was gonna say pale, but it's just kind of like a little feeling of looking a little bloodless, I guess, but just kind of a. What? You know what? No. Just tell me who to hit. Just.
I
That's fair.
don't know,
Cool.
but there's a Serpentine temple below us, far below us, and that's where the other cultists have gone. There was a spell done there recently, and his plan was to dedicate it to Codis. And it seems as though that's probably the best place for us to go next, both to catch those cultists and to learn more about what happened. Very far below. We are going to need a lot of rope and climbing gear.
This makes it
Okay.
even funnier. I sent a little guy down there without anyone else.
It's fine. It's a
Yeah,
statue.
I mean.
Your statue can judge how deep that cliff, how tall that cliff is.
It's got my soul in it, so I hope so.
Ooh, what happens if the statue gets smashed to bits because it just jumps off the edge of a cliff?
Play to find out.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I mean, normally the person that it's a statue of gets theoretically yanked out of heaven and might possibly become an angry ghost. Now, if there's already a different entity inside the statue, who knows? That could be a weird thing. But yeah,
Bet you didn't think about that, Kevin.
just I probably not, but he's probably going, yeah, this is great.
Oh, new mechanic to write.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe it's
Supplement
if,
idea.
The
Well,
version 2 is going to have
know.
this section that says how souls work.
I mean, hey. Well, honestly, it's like I think I know what that section would read. How do souls work in Sword of the Serpentine? However you want them to work in your game. In fact, I mean, for all we know, that the soul might the person whose the statue belongs to might show up and go, "Who the F are you?" And maybe there's a fight.
Ghost fight.
Yep.
That only
That's-
Pax now can see.
But if Alwyn's the other person in the fight, it's just Pax watching this fight and nobody else having a clue what's happening.
everybody else in this room watching Alwyn's body go gets slapped around.
Start doing like the Thriller dance somehow.
Sure. Odd. So anyway, yes, but yeah. I mean, do you want to take some time for preparations, or that's a choice?
Probably some
but
minor time, like a few minutes to make sure we have enough rope, maybe.
fair.
I mean, technically, we have enough rope
I mean,
for as
That's
deep of a pit we want to explore.
true.
Can I
Yeah.
declare? Can I declare one thing with preparedness? I've been to this
Mhm.
bathhouse before. Sometimes they need rope to get a pulley system up so they can actually like climb up and clean, the windows up top, clean every single tile. There's a closet full of rope.
Yeah, and like
mean,
these are
that's-
soldiers, they have equipment, right? There's a supply
I was gonna
depot
say.
not far from here.
yeah. I mean, that's
Supply
yeah. Getting
caches, like
rope is
hidden.
probably not that. Rope is not one of those things that preparedness is going to really catch you out on. Again, it's the less common things like, did I bring shark repellent or, whatever. That the things that are less usually like, what do you mean you just happen to have a jade statuette that fits this keyhole? What? No, really, I was just picking it up and I stuffed it in my pocket. Roll preparedness. I got an 11. Well, shit. Okay. Yes, you have a jade, but rope is not.
Yeah, we could get that pretty easily.
Enough rope? That's a different story. We'll see. But anyway.
We have a Riona for that.
Yeah.
Riona doesn't need rope. She doesn't
rest
carry
of us
rope on her
might,
person.
to be honest, getting to the bottom of giant deep pits isn't the problem.
Getting back up.
It's
But
getting
stop
down
at
without
the end.
hurting yourself.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
getting
it's
down
a
so
stop-
that you
it's a
can
stop
get
at
up
the
again. While I think there's like discussions of how to do this and all, I think Darren is just going to kind of like quickly but quietly get up and like go around a corner,
Okay.
like still holding her sides in really tightly. And as soon as she's like out of sight from everybody, she's just gonna like kind of double over in pain, but like bend oddly. Like she can only bend from the hips, and she's not really able to like bend at the waist the way you would normally. It is probably just like gasping and like like when you're in a lot of pain and you don't want to yell and you like are breathing through it, like that kind of thing.
Breathing through the nose and exhaling loudly and all. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like like that kind of noises and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. And you're bent over and kind of getting through the pain, and you feel a hand on your shoulder. So Alwyn, you're following these people down the stairs in this little half-high person statue thing that you have animated with magic. And yeah, okay. Not all of them are heading down. Many of them are heading out. But there are, I was going to say, probably about 3 or 4 of them that are, in fact, going deeper into the catacombs, into the basements and underneath of Eversing, and kind of heading in that downward direction. And are you being stealthy about following them, or are you just kind of chugging along? Because I mean, the statue's gonna have to kind of hustle to keep up with them because the itty bitty legs.
As stealthy as a little guy can.
Well, that would much depend on a roll being sneaky from Alwyn.
I got a few points in stealth. I think that can base to the statue. So I got 3.
Well, I mean, you're controlling it, so it's basically how well you know how to be stealthy. Now, it is made out of stone, so it's not like you're not gonna click or clack if you smack into stuff. But you can, again, it's you in there, so all right, I'm gonna have to do this to be. Again, much depends on the roll.
Yeah.
So we'll just, Do you want to spend any stealth points to? Maybe
Absolutely.
improve that, or
2.
Okay. So 2 plus what you roll, and all right.
So I added the 2 already. I rolled a natural 1. That's a 3 total.
Well, I mean, okay. It's one 6-sided die. So you're gonna get the worst result far more often on a D6 than you are on a D20. You're also getting the best result on a D6 more often than you are on a D20. So it's, anyway. Fair enough. A 3 is not going to be. One of them turns around and goes, "The fuck is that? One of the statues is following us. The hell? Run!" So yeah, you've managed to freak these guys out. And they are just absolutely fleeing, which is faster than the statue can go. What are you going to do to anything you want to do to try and catch up with them, or
The statue's just going to look at the ground, look really sad, kick up some dirt and dust, and chip off its toe a little bit. Just kind of
just
follow
wanted
them.
to be friends?
Follow them up a little bit, just like kind of waddling after them, going,
God.
wait, no, don't go.
Yeah, and from their perspective, they're suddenly in a Chucky movie or something. So yeah, they're like, no.
And if they keep running to the point that the statue can't keep up, the statue's going to look really dejected and sad, and just slowly walk up the stairs while there's a sad piano playing in the background.
Yes. Yes, there we go. We'll see if we can't get our producer to put a sad piano sound into the show in the video at this point. Yes. Yes.
Right, you can feel free to like Photoshop in a middle finger on me.
Right, yeah, the sad trombone. Wah, wah, wah.
Oh, my trombone's right over there. I can get it out.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, God.
I can get my partner to come play the violin.
In-game
Hey, there
guys.
you
The smallest one that they can get a hold of, yeah. But anyway, so fair. Are you walking that statue all the way back, or what's the plan?
I don't know what conversation's going on upstairs. I'm gonna have the statue just like walk up, look around. Anyone else in the locker room?
I mean, as far as I know, basically, if you get back to where the fight happened, the locker rooms, no, there's not anybody that's still in there. There is a little niche where the statue was that's empty now because you're walking it around. But in the room beyond, you can kind of see the members of the soldiers of the church militant are kind of just basically going through and checking equipment, and people are like Pax, Riona are kind of hustling, shucking bags back on, and kind of looks like they're getting ready to move out. And you could see this, there's this guy just laying there unconscious, cane right next to him. Just if somebody would wake that, soon you have to kick him awake at some point because they gotta go. Anyway.
Oh God, I can make this really weird and do something really descriptive, but instead I have the statue hop back to where it was, but leave in like a more fun pose.
Oh God.
Just more
I'm
dynamic.
gonna leave.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave that to the audience's imagination and not,
Like have it looking over the edge going.
Just like one of those like little summer magazines, just
pointing and laughing. I don't know. Just anyway.
Kick Alwyn a little bit. No, that's mean. Anyways,
Fair enough.
Alwyn wakes up and goes, "Well, that did nothing."
What did you do?
I mean, you confirmed they were running, so.
They were fleeing pretty hard. Some of them went outwards, some of them went to a hole. Yeah. Then they saw a monster, a little tiny stone monster, and ran away.
You can do that?
Yeah. He can.
Oh, I didn't know that went to that point.
Sometimes it can be really creepy when he does it. Other times, he just follows people like that.
You'd be surprised how many statues can move. You just ask them too nicely.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I would be very surprised if any statues can move, whether I ask them nicely or not. That's yeah. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, for Darren, basically Oleander is kind of got a hand around your shoulders, like, "Are you okay?"
And I just like not really kind of answering and just like pulling at the laces on this jacket and like half opening it and like then like you could feeling along the waist and just like
yeah, there's like less, that's gonna be pressure on organs because now they're more boxed in than they were and stuff. Yeah, that's
yeah, I think
she
she like pull at the shirt until like like the bottom of like her rib cage, the new larger rib cage is showing, and just like is touching them, and it's like I think even Oleander could see that there are more ribs than there are supposed to be now.
It's like okay. That's from that.
It's new.
Okay. Well, you can't put big hug and say, still you. And as long as you're not like in pain.
No, they hurt. It always hurts.
Oh,
This
well.
really hurts. This is I don't. Bones are new bones. It's
Yeah,
usually a lot smaller.
well, I'm not gonna say that I know how this feels, but I have had broken ones and had them set, been dislocated.
Yes, I've had those
I
things
get it.
too, and I've been
I
stabbed.
get it.
This.
I've been, yeah. Oh, stabbing, old hat. Yes, no, it's cool. I can walk you through a stabbing. No worries, I got you there.
I'd rather not get stabbed again. That did hurt more than this, and that only happened the one time. But
well, stay close. My job is to make sure you don't get stabbed again. Well, I'm making it my job.
You might
more of a calling, really.
I suppose you might as well see all of it. What the rest of it's like.
I mean,
and like turn around and like pull up the shirt like a lot higher and jacket so that like she could see like the like scales, and there's just like big patches of them like all over her back, and like, you can almost see like they kind of generally follow the spine, it can generally follow the ribs. And they're a like really dark glossy green that they almost look black. Like it takes a minute to see that they're actually a really dark green.
And well, I mean, in the dim light too, you're kind of, they're gonna look very black, and it's kind of a. So I'm gonna bet Darren probably isn't expecting it, but there's a very gentle touch on the scales. It's kind of a stroke.
Yeah, she's not expecting that at all. It's just kind of like.
It's kind of a. Huh. Okay. And she like starts taking armor off and stuff like that. I have scars. And this is a spear wound. I mean, it's not like that, but I mean, I got this fighting pirates. Actually, this was very good. I mean, the guy stabbed me basically with a boat hook, and I had to break it and then pull it out, and I killed him with it. Sorry, that's not creepy. I hope.
I killed almost an entire group of pirates with their own shadows.
Oh, cool. I mean, that's terrible. Kind of neat, though.
It was really impressive.
Yeah, it sounds it. With their shadows, like, did you like cut them, or?
It was their own shadows. It looked just like them, including shadows of their swords. Yeah. Up behind them, and just.
Oh, they were fighting themselves. That's so awesome.
Like, pretty much the whole crew.
At the same time?
Yeah, all at once.
Wow. And you got some of these out of that.
Yeah. And I think like there was like drop like put like let her shirt
go
at this point, like, you know.
Neat.
That's all of it. You've seen all of it now. It's birds and it's secrets and it's shadows. And scales and now new ribs.
Okay.
And it doesn't bother you?
It's strange. But you know what? I've seen stranger stuff. I've fought Chugget in the swamp, and they make they've done things with fish. They do things with reeds and vines and stuff. They'll wrap and grab a guy and swing him in the air. So I wind up fighting plants. I mean, I have seen sorcerers do terrible things for selfish reasons. And I haven't seen you do anything that hasn't been for someone else. I mean, it's not like you don't do stuff for you. You're a noble, but you don't use magic for that. I mean, probably because you don't need to. You're kind of good at the whole, well, better than me anyway, at the politicking. You got me through dinner with your folks, so that was impressive.
You got yourself through lunch with my dad.
I
and
had
father,
help.
but
And
I
look, your
do I
your dad
have-
was on my side.
Yeah, I have though. My family
Okay.
has money. We're one of the very few noble families that do, and it's because I get trade secrets. I leverage
Also,
what I
prophecy
know.
doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
GM says prophecy doesn't hurt. So yeah,
I
being
learn
able to
things,
sometimes see
yeah.
the future. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can see things, I can learn things, I can hear things, I can go where I'm not supposed to be, I can make people not see me. I can reach into their minds and get what they don't want others to know. But I do it for my family
And
and for our future.
well, good. I mean, I'm no prize. I mean, I can kill people 10 different ways with the contents of a garbage can. But
You think that doesn't make you a prize?
and I have killed people for less than noble reasons. I have done things I'm not proud. I've been a soldier. And that's, you do stuff. And sometimes you do it because you're ordered to and you don't think about it. And sometimes you do it because not doing it would get you in more trouble. And that's not always great. So,
But you were all right with all of this.
it's you, little bird.
And Darren's going to get up on her very tippy toes and like grab Oleander and bring her down and kiss her really hard.
Okay. Man, yeah, Olander leads it to it, picks you up, kind of like, and picks you up, starts to pick you up, sets you down for a second, like, does this hurt? And then picks you up again, and then picks you up again and kisses you anyway. So yeah.
She puts
All
me
right.
down. I'm gonna pull out of my jacket. I'm gonna say this. It's not exactly how I wanted to give it to you, but it's how I'm giving it to you.
Okay.
And I'm giving her like a very like small kind of like
Mm-hmm.
cloth wrapped around something, and you know that's of course it's a green. It's the dark green of Ligorio.
Mm-hmm. Sure. This is like, well, should
Unwrap
I
it.
should I
Yes.
should I wait or I
No,
mean,
unwrap it.
okay? She's like a kid. She's like, all right, yes, cool, presents.
And
Like,
inside
undoes the
is
cloth.
is the circular the amulet of spiraling agony,
Okay, nice.
which I assume Oleander would recognize.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Ooh.
And then directly underneath it, once like the fabric is like moved, it's clearly like handkerchief sized,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like a very very like fine fabric. And there is in one of the four corners there is like a very like ornately embroidered capital L on there that she would say.
Okay. So the cloth is also part of the present.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. This is okay. And yeah, no, I've seen these before. Sorcerers don't like them very much, which is great. And she's kind of like it has it and puts it on it just kind of over her head and kind of
I
tucks
made
it in
it.
there. You made it.
I made it.
Thank you. And she takes the handkerchief and like tucks it into her sleeve like you would a token.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Because
and
a knightly token would wear their
Yeah, it's like a
token
favor.
inside the sleeve.
Yeah.
The way wear a lady's favor in the sleeve of their armor. So yeah, so she's
Just-
got it a little bit pokes out, but not so much. It's like I don't want to get dirty or bloody or
Just
anything.
please be careful who you let see that. It's early to give it to you. It's not supposed to be a thing that I give you until there are official announcements, but I know that it is a lot to ask you to wait, and I don't know how long you're going to have to wait, and I'm serious.
There isn't anybody else I would wait for.
Yeah, and I think Darren just like blushes and just like doesn't know what to say.
But and yeah, she kind of notices and like, yeah, but those cultists are probably getting away, and
yeah,
we should.
I wonder if Alwyn's back yet.
Yeah, let's
don't explain that.
That's a little
just walk
awkward.
out.
Yeah, it's like awkward. Both. It's like, should we both into? So they both wind up coming back into the room at once, trying not to look like they're both coming back into the room at once. But yeah,
I don't think Darren's trying to hide that, to be honest.
Lyra's tell Alvin knows me and like goes, oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Rihanna already knows.
Yeah.
They had a conversation over her.
yeah, and just yeah, and,
Over her pretending to be unconscious.
But and yeah, so yeah, the Oleander is very much kind of like starts bossing the soldiers around. Are you guys ready? Let's go. We got cultists to catch.
Yeah,
And,
big hole. Cultist going out.
But yeah, fair enough. But yeah, so rather than kind of do a lengthy dungeon crawl, because we don't want necessarily to do that, we're going to kind of start with, almost kind of a long shot of this group kind of going down stairwells and things like that, corridors and things through. It's kind of almost a montage shot, and this is a deep delve, and one of the things that sort of Serpentine does to kind of sort of gloss over those long travel sequences is kind of doing a little bit of a montage thing, which I talked to my players about a little bit earlier. So this is where I kind of want to do that. So I am going to put it out. Does somebody have someone kind of step in and tell me what's a threat or challenge that kind of in this underground dive that you guys run across? What's a problem that you guys have to deal with? It could be lots of things. We even looked at like, if you're not familiar, Grant Howitt's Heart, Spire, some of those as fun inspiration of weird stuff underground. The city has been sinking for 1,000 years, and there are lots of things and people and things that are people that can't live on the surface that have to make their lives down here. And so, yeah, running into that is always a possibility. So, yeah, does anybody have a threat or a problem that you've run across?
I have one also.
Go ahead,
I
Rihanna.
think Cole was saying he has one, but I have one too.
Go for yours first. Mine was kind of forming as I was about to speak. So
So I'm gonna say at some point Pax notices that something is following us.
Mm-hmm. And
Which
yeah,
we're
absolutely.
susceptible to right now.
Yep, absolutely. Pax would be the one.
Emotionally tired. So Pax is like going back and forth a lot because I have one more spirit side left.
Yep, but Pax has also got the highest level of vigilance, though, as far as would be the one to notice. Definitely the extra. There's more footsteps. I'm hearing more footsteps than there are people in our group, kind of situation. So, all right, what makes it worse, Cole? How does it get worse than just that?
it's not really just one person following us. It's a lot of people following us, and they're not really people.
Okay, so all right. So what is it that makes it worse? What kind of creature?
Oh God,
What are
I
you
actually
thinking?
was looking at the adversary section of the book, and there was one creature that caught my eye.
Mm-hmm.
What if some of the soldiers got taken and replaced by a certain creature called the Faceless? Are we cool with that? The other
mean-
option.
I love it.
There are some.
Well, my question is, okay, so then the third part though is how does that get resolved? Because this isn't necessarily a thing that's going to turn into a fight scene that we're going to take the rest of the game, because there are the scenes I absolutely want to get to for the finale, but how do you get past that? I mean, how does this is this thing like caught and revealed before it could like take over I mean, I feel like this is like something that would like come up. So as the Faceless, it would catch somebody and quickly replace them by taking their face and then kind of like catching up to the group.
I have
I
an
think
idea.
so. Okay, how is this resolved?
I feel like each of us independently starts to like notice something that's weird. Like I think Darren notices that some of the shadows aren't working right. Like they're not the right shape for some of the soldiers, and like Oleander's like, that's not how that soldier acts or talks, you know, or like I think Pax is like, there's a spirit there that shouldn't be somehow, and like
Energy's different.
yeah, like this is not quite right there, and like I don't know, like Alwyn's like, why are the footsteps sounding different on the stone? Like, because you know, I feel like that's a thing he would notice, and like,
right.
I think Riona like probably I like Aiden and Von Tomdi have stories about things that like will replace you, and like you have like there's a lot of creepy stories online of like you're out camping with your friends and like suddenly like you hear the voice somewhere else, you know, you hear two versions, that kind of thing. So like those stories keep coming to her mind, and maybe she's not sure why, but like they just keep kind of niggling at her. And I think just as we're all kind of like looking at each other like, am I going crazy or is this happening? I think we turn a corner and like I don't know, enter another room or something, and then the other soldiers that were missing also come into this room. And then there's the lot of like, what? Where'd you go? And we turn around, and the ones that we thought they were with us, they're just gone. And they thought that we had been replaced. And they were just beginning to figure it out and trying to figure out what to do. And then we just both independently come in, like we like split the party somehow through something creepy. And then it's just resolved, and we're all just freaked out by it.
Oh, like sure. Yeah. An encounter with something, yeah. All right, fair enough. I like that is very it's the kind of spooky thing, yes, exactly, that I was thinking of. So yeah, and then and this is all in the process of kind of going deeper in and through hallways and passages and things like that. So okay. Aki, did you say you had one as well, or
I have a couple ideas.
Okay.
But
Tell me, what's the thing?
Oh goodness, I guess I'll go with the first idea I had.
Yeah.
Mine were not like inherently like the reds, it was just things we were gonna have to deal with.
Yeah.
I had the idea of because you said this was going down a long way. So I had the idea of like we come into through one of the passages into like a multi-story home. Where the wood from the stairs and the floors has rotted through, so we have to figure out how to get down.
Yeah, okay.
Like
yeah.
where it's like we like shuffle our way down like rotting stairs almost, and not.
Yeah, I mean, there's not. Yeah, none of the footing is good. None of the wood is. That this has been rotted through water. Okay, then I guess Stephanie, how's it worse than that? How's it worse than you think? Does somebody fall through and just kind of
there's a chasm
never
underneath,
seen again?
And somebody definitely is like falls through and is like hanging on kind of thing. I think maybe a couple of people fall through and are like hanging. I would say like we're like there's not gonna be enough reflex time to save both people.
Yeah. There's so of the there's Oleander and like it'd be a squad of 6. There's Oleander and 5 people. Now 4. And so how is it resolved? Cole, Kitty, help me out here. What solves this problem? I mean, you have to make a terrible choice, but can you save both? I guess. How is that done?
Ooh, I might have an idea for this one.
Go for
We
it.
are underneath Eversink. There are still statues going all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
Alwyn senses one statue has it reach out a hand, and it grabs one of the guards and tries to grab another one with the same statue. And the guard freaks out because it's a moving statue. They're not supposed to move.
Right.
And instead, like
the guards are correct. They are not supposed to.
Yeah. The only reason the other one doesn't drop is because he's grabbed by the foot, and it's kind of hard to get a good angle when you're dangling.
Mm-hmm. But so you use the statue to try and grab both, and one fights it and therefore is not successful. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Does Wilhelm scream all the way down? Catches a second breath, keeps on screaming, but further down.
Scream isn't a long scream. It's and it's done. It is not a long. There are long screams, but it's not it's like a Wilhelm scream that starts again. This is a really deep hole.
Just take the effect, put it on loop. Do it like 3 more times. It's fine.
A really bad hard cut.
Just God. All right,
Oh,
fine. We find the funny in the guard dying. Yes, that's good. We're horrible people.
At this awkward break, Alwyn immediately remembers he has a token. Darren, you might like this, and gives a like onyx crystal that has like a swirling darkness in it, and says, "You might like this token of spiraling darkness that I bought like 4 sessions ago and just remembered I had." With the intent of giving it to you and completely forgetting to.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm gonna put this in the Zoom chat.
Token of spiraling down that I totally forgot about. All right.
Yeah. I have another one for a different reason.
Trinket.
Thank you.
Nice.
Just a trinket.
I was like,
remember
that's the best ability for someone with shadows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. It allows you to if you use a maneuver that prevents a foe from perceiving their surroundings. The difficulty of that maneuver is basically their difficulty to resist it is raised by 2.
Yeah, and
it makes it harder for them to
blind
resist. Yes, it makes it harder for them to be blind or to resist being blinded, and makes it easier for you to resist being blinded. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I
So,
like
yeah.
that. Thank you. That's very useful.
Sneaking up on somebody is much easier when they can't see.
Yeah.
Just okay, fair enough. So, hey, that guy just dying reminded me of this thing that I had in my pocket. Let me
You know how that's like an abyss of pure and complete darkness? And that reminds me of what you mess with from time to time.
Jeez.
Hey, I got you a token.
So yes, I mean, so basically you guys just carefully kind of pick your way past this abyss and the broken stairs, just kind of like using the sides or maybe even some of that a ton of rope and stuff that you've brought. Okay.
Well, Brianna can also stabilize the stairs if they're wood.
That's fair.
Very
I
true.
mean,
Don't ask how I'm doing it, but you
using
can
some
step in
magic.
these spots.
yeah, don't ask questions.
here.
Step here, here, and here. Don't ask why.
This is just like
It's a Von Savny
vines
thing.
underneath of like reinforced.
Nice. All right. But yeah, okay. And that is taking us, I think. We're gonna get I'm gonna bring you past this next. So kind of this last little bit. You enter out and the corridor just kind of stops. I remember there's a movie from the 70s, kind of obscure. It's called A New Hope, and 2 of the characters kind of come out, and there's a little ledge over an abyss, and they have like get to the other side where there's another ledge. Except this is a big deep hole, and there isn't. I mean, it like looking up, it goes up farther than your lights do, as far as seeing the ceiling. And of course, same thing down. There's no. You can maybe see there's like kind of maybe a rickety bridge, but it looks like 5 or 10 stories below where you're at, and there's no other side to this. This isn't like a missing bridge to somewhere. It's just this is a hole that goes down. And Darren, you've seen this hole in recently in someone's memory. This is where, in fact, if you were to look carefully, you would find where ropes had been tied off and stuff here, as far as going down. And yeah, this shaft of the abyss. That sounds like a D&D. That's like a magic item, shaft of the abyss. Anyway, staff of the abyss, then, is that better? Fine, whatever. Just
We're the worst.
we are 12.
Look, I will not apologize.
We both started going.
So yes, this shaft, it's huge, big, black. Anyway, I have to figure out a way to get down, and I'm going to give you a few minutes to think about it while we go to break, because it's about that time. Welcome back, everybody. If you've just joining us, you're in the middle of the finale of Denari's Half Dozen on Huntsman's Hydra Network, and yeah, we're having a good time. We have found the abyss leading downwards to a potential Serpentine temple, the temple of the ancient Serpentine Empire. God, I have this town, which is now called Eversink because humans rule it. 3,000 years ago was Narissimani Telekul in Serpentine. I had to look that up and read it 3 or 4 times to be able to pronounce that. So yeah. Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Eat.
Eat number 1. And but yeah, anyway, that there are, for those of you with forgotten lore, which I know is Cole and Darren and maybe some others, that there shouldn't be. I mean, a Serpentine temple would be any kind. If there's an altar down there, that's got to be all that's left, right? Because 3,000 years ago, that's like a couple thousand years. Well, probably 2,000 years, 2,500 years ago, the destruction of the empire. So 1,000 years, 500 years between then and the founding of the city. Surely there's nothing left. But this I don't know. It's just this is unheard of, unlikely, archaeologically marvelous. Somebody is going to want to study this, except anybody with any sense is going to tell them, no, you cannot study that because you'll catch sorcery. Which is going to make someone want to study it even harder and then not tell anyone.
Maybe a couple of someones.
Yeah, I mean, yes, these are our heroes. The game specifically calls y'all heroes, so I have to. It's in the rules. You're heroes. All as heroic as you absolutely are. Fair enough. Tell me how you're getting down this deep shaft. Are you just
carefully?
Okay, cool. Next. Next
well, we
scene.
said we were going to
Sure.
look for where the previous anchor points had been. For sure.
Well, the rope was tied off here. I don't know if there was any like rappelling or anchoring or anything done but I mean, yeah, this is tied off. Literally, and when rifling through that cultist's memories, and I guess I didn't get the answer to the question. Did you bring him with you?
Did we do with them?
No, wouldn't have brought him with us. I don't think.
Okay. So just left him up there unconscious and.
I assume the city guard took care of it.
Okay.
Or the church militant, like somebody when they went to the supply depot to get more rope.
Okay.
They also brought him by to have a different group book him and imprison him.
They did exchange prisoner for supplies, please.
Yep.
Yes, I need you to take care of a couple of things. This and get me some rope. Okay. All right. Fair enough. But rifling through his head, basically he climbed down that rope a long way, reached the end of the rope, realized that there was still more empty space below him, climbed back up the rope, and got more rope.
Yeah, I will definitely share like everything that I got
Okay.
from him about this decline. We had a name and I got it from him, and I don't know if I actually wrote it down anywhere.
His name?
Yeah.
Did I write it down? Uh-oh.
I have the name written, but I don't know if this is the right name though.
What is it?
Bastian Peroni?
That's it.
Yep.
I didn't put any context as to who this is. I just put Bastian Peroni.
Wrote a name.
Yep. Yep.
There we go.
I think I have that.
That is-
with
that
some
is right.
people I ran into. Yeah, I have random names written down on a sticky note on the back of my character sheet.
Nice. Yep. I think I had really good Bastian Peroni at PAX U last year. It was little Italian place. Anyway.
That's a coal level bad. Come on.
Well, it's the company I keep, I guess. But anyway, so yes, rifling through his head. So, okay. Is anyone gonna try this climb first, or
Sure.
okay?
I don't need rope.
Are you using it though, or is
I'm going to
just
use
kind of like, I'll find
vines.
out? Yeah.
No, I'm gonna use vines. So I'm gonna put some seeds down. I'm gonna make sure that the anchor points for the ropes are between the seeds and the edge, because I don't want to break up the structure of that spot. And
Okay.
then make the vines grow and get nice deep roots. And then I'm just gonna use them to go down.
Okay. Because all right.
It might or might not be a vine attached to my arm.
Right. I was just there.
What you want
There
me?
isn't-
You want me to jump off?
No, there wasn't any. I was
Swan
just gonna say
dive.
if you had any kind of X Games drive or something, I would just be like, I will give you an investigative point back and you just kind of
No.
yeet yourself.
No, they're not.
That's fine.
I don't go
But,
seeking adventure that much.
It's still fine. Basically, you're climbing down. Climbing is athletics, and this is just more of a stamina test of climbing than anything, because it's just a long way down. And but using sorcery to make it safer is just good for you. In my head, I was picturing throwing the seeds just like off the ledge
Mm-hmm.
and then jumping after them, and then when they land, having them grow and catch you. But that's in my X Games version of this Riona Extreme.
So
But,
having the vine go down at my pace, if somebody falls off a rope, I can catch them.
Fair.
You need somebody to go down the rope. I'll go down the rope.
I
Well,
mean,
I
the
mean-
rest of you are probably going to have to go down the rope unless you want to try climbing down the vines.
I feel like if we're like exploring ahead of everybody, then yeah.
Well-
and I'm gonna reason that like if it goes bad, there's shadows everywhere. I'll be
Yeah,
fine.
you could just shadow jump to the bottom.
I'll go down the rope. I'll save the shadows until I know what we're gonna run into.
The temptation to make a stairway of hands going all the way down from statues.
Well, that's the thing. You've got statues as the limitation there is that you kind of need statues, and that, I guess, if anything makes this kind of hole unusual is it doesn't have niches with statuary in it. It is like almost just a bare shaft, as it were. But which is honestly in Eversink unusual. That in the history of Eversink in 1,000 years that somebody would leave a space that could have a statue in it and not put a statue there just because somebody has died and they need a place to put a statue. But anyway,
brings the question
fair.
of, do I trust rope more, or do I trust the magically conjured vines from my friend? I trust the vines more.
All right. And I say, if nothing else, basically, I think Darren you'd start to go for the rope, and Oleander was, I'm going first.
No.
This is my job.
No. There's nothing to catch you if you fall.
I'm not going to fall.
You might.
But I won't. She kind of grabs the rope and literally does.
No, damn it.
Basically jumps back and kind of swings and kind of she does a very professional rappel. It's kind of like feet planted against the wall every once in a while, just.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'll say it knowing she can't hear me, but I'm leaning over and glaring and I'm like, if you fall and die, I'm going to bring you back just to kill you again.
So you're telling me you're interested in necromancy?
Always a little bit.
I mean...
Look, when you've broken one taboo, what's another?
Necromancy is just healing with bad timing.
I hear the clattering of dice in the background there, Pulsar. What are you doing?
Oh no.
It's fine. It's fine. The rope moves, and after a while you can't see Oleander anymore. But then it goes slack.
Oh god, she fell.
And then there's a wiggle on the rope. And one of the other soldiers is like, okay, that's on belay. So who's next?
I'm going down.
Yep.
Okay.
Did she bring her lantern? Did she light the lantern and hook it on her?
Not while she was climbing, because that'll kind of clang all over the place. But I think while you're kind of, I guess, how are you just kind of grabbing the rope and just gonna hand over hand it, or how are you going down? All right.
I mean, I have some points in athletics, so
sure.
I'm not super fumbly going down, but I have not done tons of rappelling.
Okay, fair enough.
Weird thought. Can I tap a Darren on the shoulder and leave a little lightning spark as a light?
Well, I was just going to use my mechanical light that I have.
Oh, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can I just
turn it on very, very low. Yeah.
Yeah. You're cranking that mechanical lantern. That's fair. I like it because it's because that's almost electrical. So yeah, Oleander's is theirs are like little oil lamps kind of things. So splashing that all over the place is like, hi, I would like to have I'd like to have flaming oil all over the place while I'm trying to go down a rope. That's but anyway, if you go down, it's just give me an athletics check.
Okay.
And yeah, you may add as many points of athletics to this as you feel like.
I have 2, so I'm just gonna add 2 because I never use them for anything. This is my first time using it. So roll a die. Well, I rolled a 6 plus 2 makes it 8.
That's very good. All right. Yeah. So yeah, you just kind of like, all right. And
I'm pretty fit.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like a little bit of a, maybe this is, so is this something that you have had a chance to learn, or just kind of, or see somebody do, or just there's more luck than anything, or are you kind of hand over handing, just going really fast, or the other side of this?
It's actually repelling and stuff. I think that we've established that I have done a lot of exploring. down here because
Mhm.
that's where I
Ah,
get
that's
my
fair.
books from. So I probably
That's
have
fair.
done some
Mhm.
much smaller amounts of repelling before, and Darren is like fit and like athletic and
Yeah.
not extremely so, but like
Yeah.
she's
The
not
other
just sitting on her butt as a noble.
Yeah.
Like she's actually
Well,
doing things. So
and the other side of it too is this could be, I mean, you can roll athletics and what it looks like is magic as well. It wouldn't, you don't always have to use sorcery to do magic. You could, it's one of those, you could literally not necessarily turn it, but you could have wings and just glide down. You could be, and it would still,
I want to show off that I am good at like
yeah,
athletics,
no,
like, fit.
that which
Yeah.
is also fine. I mean,
Yeah,
it's one of those, it's kind of almost in your back pocket kind of thing. If this repelling gets down a certain amount and you're just like, yeah, and then at some point you get nervous and bamf the rest of the way or something, or that is also very cool. It's, or Alwyn could, if he wanted to, could just turn himself into a statue and just jump off. And when he lands very hard, the fact that he's made out of marble would take most of the damage, and then he just turns back.
Don't tell me that because I might do it.
Just
That's
whether
stick
you
with
take
the vibe.
whether you take damage or not depends on how well you roll on athletics. So that's I'm just saying that's there. That's kind of one of those that sorcery is an effect, that sorcerers get to do cool sorcery stuff all the time, even if they're technically using other skills, kind of thing. But yeah, I love the backstory, how it just kind of, this is kind of seeing Darren in kind of that delver mode that we rarely see her in, and just kind of probably surprises the church militant officer when you kind of like get your hands in that right grip to kind of just slide down the rope, and just like, oh,
I think I like pop up my lantern, like just like the very first notch, and like tuck it very securely into a pocket, so it's just like this very small glow around me, and just like shoop, like it's nothing, like I do this every day.
And because there's a little bit of light, the rest of you can kind of see this boom, boom, boom. This is almost 300 feet down.
Wow.
Just a ways to go. But yeah.
Our rope is that long? Jeez.
No, there's like
there's
like three ropes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's like 3 ropes. You kind of, you get to rappel and slide until you get to where they're knotted together, and then you kind of have to move and rappel and slide, and you have to do that.
I
twice.
hope you're wearing good gloves if you're sliding down the rope.
Serious hand.
Yeah.
Like scrape everything up.
Yeah.
Yeah, this sorcery and healing. Yeah, it's fine.
Fixed.
And then the rope will be slick for the next person. Yeah.
Oh,
great.
gross. Yeah, but yeah, I'll make it down, just like stand, like pop, like land so easily right next to Elena, and be like,
Yeah, Riona. So Riona, Oleander, and you are down at the bottom. Oleander is putting her lantern back on the spear and lighting it, and stuff like that. So there is a little bit of light down there. And yeah, this is a big echoey room, but there is like a shape kind of in the distance. Again, probably about, I want to say 50 to 100 feet away. It's a ways, but yeah. And there are like little pillars. You can see pillars around it, and it has that kind of square, kind of ziggurat shape with a little pyramid in the center. But yeah.
Question: as we're going down this chasm, does it look new in the sense that like this chasm itself is like a new like fissure in the earth?
It doesn't look as man-made. It looks like it's a borehole almost, that it's been carved or cut out of rock.
Like more recently than 500 years ago, or like...
I mean, does it look 3,000 years old? Not really.
So in theory, something from either end was looking for the other end.
Maybe so. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yeah, I'm definitely going to point that out to Riona and Oleander as soon as I hit the ground.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Yeah. This is like, yeah, this is so who's next? I'm gonna say at some point other members of the church militant go, but one of them is gonna wind up being last because I want to make sure that you guys get down before they go down.
Can I go?
Well, do you want it to be last, Cole? I mean,
I kind of wanted to be last because I was going to do something creepy to get down because I'm re-looking over the statuary sphere.
Okay.
Okay, then I'll go
That's
down.
fine.
Yeah.
I'm down. Tell me about this creepiness.
Yeah, listen, statues can be made of anything. I'm sure there's someone rich enough to have it made of obsidian.
Yeah, okay.
Start punching holes in the wall and just kind of make my own path down. But just kind of looks more or less like a oh god, I'm trying to think of the movie, but I don't want to think about the movie. But it's straight up just like a stick bug, like crawling down, just pure obsidian black, just crawling down, punching holes in the wall.
So are you going head first?
You know.
So that feels like a yes.
Terrifying.
All right, I feel like
yes.
I think let's tell me how this athletics check goes before we like super describe how creepy it is, because you like roll a 1 again.
Yeah.
Roll a 1, then I guess you're gonna get caught by some vines.
Creepy and hilarious, yeah.
You know, I'm using all 3 of my athletic points for this.
Okay, that is fair.
I am way more athletic than I remember.
Oh dear.
Hey, there we go. I rolled a 4 plus 3, so 7.
Excellent. That is
Hey.
enough. That is enough to successfully, yes, to creepily, and it doesn't. The walls kind of crack and fracture a little more like, almost like a little more like glass than just stone. There are cracks beyond where you've punched through, but when you come down.
Has there been a light source on the walls at all?
I mean, you guys have been far enough away from it. I don't think anybody's, but I guess, Pax, how did we get down? Because if Alwyn went down last, you would have had gone to go before then. So I guess we probably should figure out how well your athletics roll went too.
Yeah, I should probably do that. What is the threshold I'm trying to meet?
Oh, tell me how many athletes. I haven't told anyone what the difficulty is here, but it's not easy. It's a little harder than usual. So yeah, you may want to, if you've got some points, you can probably spend them.
Yeah, that's kind of why I grabbed a couple points. I'm gonna drop a couple points on this.
It's no more than an 8, or no. As far as
it's not an 8. A 7 was successful. So
yeah.
Okay. I also had a 7, so I'll just.
Well, then yes, that also
shimmy my way
succeeds.
in. I almost wanted to fail to be like, oh shoot, but no, we're good. Very athletic.
Well, there's
Don't fail
lots,
on the 300-foot drop.
lots of ways to get into the spirit world. That's one of them.
Well, I'm just curious. Also, as I'm going down, as I'm like on my way down, do I notice anything different in the spirit world in this area? Like, is there an abundance of spirits? Is there like, am I seeing like layers or anything? Or is this place supposed to be solid in?
I was gonna say, if you've been in the spirit world, there are like levels here. There are rooms and stairs, and this is not an empty gap. This is in the memory of the city. This is well, honestly, the memory of the city doesn't go this. Even when you get down to where you're this deep, there's not much in the spirit world, in that it's very unformed, but it's also not but it's not a whole. You know, there are like stairs and corridors and things just kind of crisscrossing this space that you're in the real world going through what in the spirit world. I guess it's got to be weird because like almost being a reverse ghost, in that, you know, you're falling through what in your vision is like solid rock sometimes. But yeah,
I wanted to see if I could, like, if I noticed that before we went down, so I could have the guard go first and I'll be the second to last. Because if I would look at Alvin and be like, are you going down the rope, or Or you?
I had some thoughts. Just when you get down there, can you make sure everyone's looking the opposite direction from the wall?
Okay, it may take me a second because I want to look at and pack gestures to what looks like nothing to them, but just I want to look at this on my way down. So PAX takes their sweet time.
Take a long time. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Just sometimes it's just like stop and oh.
Not sliding, but
Spinning.
actually literally hand over hand. Yeah. So everybody else is just kind of done this bouncing off the wall, kind of like you would on a rappel kind of thing to slide down to where the knots are. So like PAX is literally just this way, just hand over hand, which takes a good bit of arm strength. Yeah, that's a good bit of arm strength required for that too. It's just kind of like crossing the legs around the rope and like and looking around.
There's a way to tie it on your feet with just your feet.
Yeah,
slightly. I did aerial silks and it's the same idea.
Yeah, like you kind of loop it around. Clever ways to make it less stressful.
You do like the Russian knot on your.
But just stopping every so often just to kind of look around and be like, oh, this is really interesting.
Yep. There are, but the lower you go, it's more of like the spirit world and the place. There are very, very few, if any, spirits. There probably aren't by the time, as low as you aren't any like spirits of beings. They have long since faded or passed on to whatever or disappeared, and that this is just more of the spirit of the city than anything. Yeah.
I just had the terrible thought. Did I see the person that fell down's ghost?
Oh no.
That's we'll make a statue for you later.
Oh God. Yep.
Okay.
Oh, that's probably something. I wonder if you work for I imagine if you work for the church militant, there probably are statues made of you.
They would have to be.
I think that would be. Yeah, I was gonna say. I think that would be. You're in the church. That would be a service provided. I would think that would be kind of a. Yeah. I mean, that's one of the selling points. You know, church militant. You know, do this. Be the arm of our law, and we guarantee that you'll go to heaven. Kind of. You know, boom.
Guaranteed statue.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, distracting myself.
It was me getting distracted and distracting you.
So yeah, they're in this giant, quiet, empty space. Well, almost empty space. You and the other church militant, when they get down, are also lighting lanterns and kind of hooking them on the spear arm that they've got. So there is a little bit of light around your party and things like that. So yeah, and you can see there is definitely a serpentine altar. And an altar of some kind that definitely has all the hallmarks of being part of the Serpentine Empire. So what do you do?
Alan starts scaling down the wall, looks at the glass, grabs like a handful, keeps climbing down the wall. I don't know. Could be useful.
Feel a handful of wall glass.
Yeah. Does it have like any art on it? Is it stained glass? Is it etched on?
No, it's more
have,
like
that cool S thing where it's like 3 bars, and you like connect them one way and then the other way, like everyone did in middle school to high school.
Thing, yeah.
Yeah, that's how you know it's definitely a serpentine altar, is the big serpentine S on it. Yes, that's what the S stands for. You didn't know that in high school, but it stands for the Serpentine Empire.
Oh my God. Okay. I think if we're approaching the altar, I think I'm gonna scout ahead using shadow stuff and staying in the shadows.
Okay.
I'm not gonna go all the way. Like I'm gonna stay like some distance ahead of everyone, but not
is this I'm trusting the darkness, or is this I'm going to make a stealth roll? Kind of. What's the?
I'll be stealthy, sure. I have points in stealth. Yeah, I'm gonna use what? It's grit. I will use I'll use 3 of them. I'll use 3 points of stealth.
Okay.
Make sure. Well, I rolled a 1, so that's a 4.
Okay. I mean, honestly, you get far enough away from the group, and yeah, if y'all aren't if you're not directly, I'm gonna keep track of Darren, and I'm just kind of watch where she's going. If you get distracted or look away, it's kind of oh, I know she's over there somewhere. The darkness is definitely helping, and but there also it's
I don't
good
want
enough
anyone or anything at the altar to be able to see me is kind of my bigger concern.
Well, there's also the other thing about a decent stealth roll is also being quiet too, because this is a big chamber that can be kind of echoey. So yeah. But let me look at this. Lord. Anyway, and but yeah, so okay, fair enough. And then, so the rest of you are also just kind of grouped together, or yeah, that's the other thing too, is, and also down here for those of you who are magically inclined, yeah, definitely the corruption of the spell is lingering in this place, and it is a lot as far as the field goes. I mean, it should actually, that's true. There's a check for this. That's the place kind of, it feels bad. There's a morale, a fear, a sadness, kind of a depression just from the magic of the place, which kind of, I think, probably given the darkness and the spookiness of it, just generally just kind of heightens the fright of it. That even with the lights, it makes everybody's shadows also huge and spooky and stuff on the walls, and it's kind of more of a, not that you're necessarily oh god, jump scare, oh yeah, you frightened me, more of a just kind of is it moving the way it's supposed to? I'm having a hard time telling. Maybe is there weird magic going on? I mean, is there more weird magic going on? Kind of having those kind of weird thoughts start running through the head. So yeah, that would be magic wise. It is a morale check. It is a loss 2 morale check. So basically, you need you want to make a check of morale. If you fail the morale check, you lose 2 points of morale. So if you'd like to spend, and the target number in this case is 4. So just
this is overcome grit.
Grit would reduce the damage if you take it.
Okay.
So if you have grit, that would reduce the amount of damage you might lose. But it's still gonna.
6.
I rolled a 4.
I rolled a 6.
Hey, okay, cool. So yeah.
I'm spending some points. So
okay.
I rolled a 3 and I spent 2 points, so it's a 5.
I used no points and rolled a 3, so I'm having time.
Okay.
This is too much for little Pax.
But Pax does have grit of 1, so it really only dings you 1 point of morale.
Yeah.
So you would lose a point of just kind of it's a little, sets you a little on edge in here. It's not great, and just the echoes of just a few things that people have talked are starting kind of building over one another, and it's almost like it's just when everything rolls together because they kind of echo back and forth in this whole chamber, and it just kind of comes together, just almost like a rumble of thunder almost in the background of just everybody's words kind of coming together like that. But you're getting close to the altar. Alwyn, you had something?
Yeah, do I feel like any source of heat down here? Or like an area that feels very warm? Do the walls themselves feel very warm recently?
No, I mean, if you put your hand on it, it's cool stone. It's like smooth.
Yeah.
Except where you've punched holes in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is that, and Darren, you were getting closer to the altar. Okay.
Scouting ahead, like I don't know, maybe I don't know, like a football field,
it's like
ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
All
Well,
the
it's
time.
like 100. It's like 100 feet between. This is almost kind of a round chamber, and it's like 100 feet between you and the altar. So.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it was that
yeah.
close. Yeah, I am definitely gonna like stay ahead of everyone though, so I can see what's there.
It's a big room, but yeah, it's not. I don't know. The interior of Bespin big. Anyway, but yeah, I don't want you guys. To have to hike a mile to get to the altar. That's why we're here. But yeah, there appears to be somebody there. It's hard to make out from here. They're cloaked in shadow. I mean, they're in shadow. There's no light up there. The only light source in the room is y'all's. But they've got some kind of hood and are just kind of motionless there behind the altar. And
I'm gonna try and get closer to see if I can figure out who or what they are.
Okay. And okay. As there's a figure, and yeah, to the question that Cole asked me in chat. No, it's not so much like that. It's more, and to answer your question, there is a crack, and it echoes loudly through this chamber of thunder, like. And storm clouds, and it starts to rain.
Of course it does.
Enough of that shit. I'm gonna go ahead and use both my points of forgotten lore, put a ward on me, and just like tap on Pax's shoulder and just like quickly finger be like, do you want protection just in case?
Pax goes,
Did you bring protection? What, you mean like a knife? Yes.
A bigger knife. Anyways. No, actually, do you want to not get hurt too badly?
Okay.
Cool. And you feel
Pax is very spacey. At the moment, Pax is just like
you feel
Pax
Alwyn
is
just
looking
like
at the other versions of this room.
Yeah. You feel Alwyn like take that clay he took off the wall, mutter under his breath, that's definitely serpentine. And just like quickly puts a forgotten lore ward on the back of Pax as well.
Okay.
And I have one up, and so do
when that thunder peels through the room and it starts to rain, does Pax look up?
Pax immediately is like trying to like not go fully as people, but kind of.
Are you one of those people that looks up when it rains? Is that?
Yes, Pax is definitely just feels rain, goes. But Pax is also trying to look beyond a little bit, like. Are you here?
Well, good.
Is it Cotis?
You can see a figure that you have seen before, like a giant humanoid shape, kind of over the hole, and act like they're gonna climb in. And what happens after that is someone else kind of comes down into this room. That someone else being really just bones and magic. And this skeleton does a superhero landing on the far side of the altar from you and stands up and continues standing up. and continues standing up because its full height is about 25 feet tall.
Is on the other side, does it look like it's the same figure? Is like basically like a rounded
From
only?
your point of view, the skeleton has those same glowy eyes of what you associate with kind of Kotus's storm form, I guess, or whatever it is. The kind
the
of
Pax is gonna like more under your breath than you would think is appropriate at this point in time. To Alwyn goes, "It's Kotus."
Yeah, I recognize that
And
smell.
yeah, it's ozone, and it occurs to you that basically the kind of the clay walls of this place would probably glassify if they were hit by lightning,
Cool.
or just the heat of lightning would definitely kind of make them more glassy and rocky.
Yeah.
And yeah,
A quick point of order. I mentioned it in chat, but because I spent 2 points of forgotten lore, that
Yep.
hits everyone within point blank range. So the guards
this is
feel like
pretty
a
much
sprinkle of
everybody
time.
standing together.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yay.
It's a
Except
little
Darren, who's off
electrical.
on her own.
Yep. Sorry.
Yep. Oh well.
Oh, you keep getting hurt.
I'll be fine.
What happens when you go rogue class? Sorry.
I mean, you know, it's fine.
So anyway, yes. So this skeletal giant stands up, and it just has. It does, as far as weapons go, it doesn't have one until it kind of reaches down to the altar, takes one of the obelisks, and just kind of snaps it off in its hand, ready to swing it like a club.
Cool.
So who among you is going to go first? Who has an initiative move? If y'all don't take it, I'm
so
going.
I have a question.
Yes. Okay.
How
A lot's happening at
close
once.
am I to the altar in all of this? Because I was trying to get closer to see who or what this hooded figure was.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say from just because this is I guess an action movie point of view, that you guys are like equidistant. It's like now forming kind of a triangle. So there's your little party, and then the warrior, and you're like off to one side and are about equally close to the altar or either group, if that makes sense. So you can get to, because the skeleton landed on the other side of the altar from your group.
Right.
Probably assuming it could just kind of stomp past you or whatever, or can stand on top of the altar.
So are we like in a circle, like everyone else, me,
Kind
the
of in,
altar,
yeah.
and the bone kind
Yeah,
of thing?
so like if there's a line between your group and your group and the altar, and then this giant, you're probably kind of off this way a little, kind of off to the side to kind of sneak around, or unless you would.
Okay.
I mean, if you would have gone straight for the altar, that's also fine.
Yeah, I feel like I probably would have,
Okay.
especially
Well,
seeing
that
someone
would-
on there. I would want to see who
Okay.
that was.
Then it's the group, Darren, altar, giant. So
Yeah.
the closest target for this skeletal giant is either the person at the altar or you.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, in theory, I'm hidden. In theory.
Yep.
Can
That's
I
fair.
see anything about this person though, from where I am?
They appear to be like maybe asleep, that they are slumped over. They're I know you probably can see with shadow magic. I imagine you see you very well in the dark, don't you?
Yeah.
They're probably they're breathing, so it's not like somebody's died down here, but they're maybe asleep or meditating, and even this hasn't broken it or something. They haven't moved, but they're not
Right,
dead.
but I still can't tell who or what it is. Like, I can't tell if this is like a person.
I imagine probably I'm thinking probably their back is to you. They've got like this hooded robe and kind of that kind of thing, so they're just
Are they like kneeling or sitting, or
possibly, if they're kneeling, they're very tall, but
and they're just like slumped against the altar?
maybe.
Okay. So I just can't see, basically.
I mean, again, there is a lot of, it's just your light, and there's a great bit of darkness, and so details are going to be fuzzy.
Okay. Cool.
And because they haven't gotten a chance to go in initiative order yet, so
One more question for you then.
Yep.
Do you think I fulfilled my drive of genuine love at the beginning when I was talking to Oleander and gave her my favor and everything?
I would imagine
Cool,
so.
I'm
That's
gonna
like
take
a
a point of
step
corruption
forward.
back.
That's a step forward. Yeah, I mean that's a step forward to getting married. So yeah, I mean,
Cool. Because I keep using all my corruption. So,
and I love it.
There we go. Cool.
I love it.
Took a point of refresh because I needed that. Okay.
That's fair.
Was anyone else dying to go first?
Nope.
I love the way you phrased that, but
I mean, unless you have a better idea, my big thing is to try to get that person off the altar.
Well, see, I'm assuming they summoned it.
Here, I can go. At least for like...
Go. Yeah, go. Then.
Yeah. So for part of my turn, I'm going to tell the soldiers and Oleander, like... So that's an avatar of a god. Y'all, if you have anything... Are they all in metal armor?
oh no. Very few people in Eversink wear metal armor. There are too many canals and the ocean's right. No, you fall off a boat in metal armor, you're done for. No, most people at best wear leather.
Cool.
But Oleander has metal. We've established it repeatedly.
Yes, he does. Oh no, she does. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Well, good thing I put a forgotten ward on her.
Oleander doesn't fall in the canal.
I think for Alwyn's move, they're going to tell everyone, like, spread out because you don't want to get hit by lightning, and it's going to move into the building and get as close to the body as I can.
You want to move up to the altar? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can I tell if the body is, like, if the person is breathing with 1 point of bind wounds?
I mean, yeah, probably. I mean, this doesn't look like, bind wounds would give you enough medical knowledge. This does not look like a dead body.
Cool.
It's
moving
too
forward.
upright.
Yep.
Unless it's been mummified in place or something, but that doesn't.
Yeah. I'm going to move forward and grab the person, and
Okay.
if they try to attack me or throw me off, I will pump a point of sorcery to turn him into a statue, at least partially.
Okay. Cool. All right. Who's going next?
I think our distance.
Let's just establish who's next in initiative order. I mean, it can be.
I think
this. It could be the mysterious figure. It could be the skeletal giant. Or it could be anybody in your party. And Oleander, and then the church militant. I'm just going to do them as one squad.
Either Riona or the church militant. I'm going to say Riona, just because I know she can move quickly and also fight at a distance.
All righty.
Yeah, about that. Arrows don't necessarily do a whole lot against skeletons.
Well, okay. They do damage. You can harm. I mean, the trick with skeletons is you have to, like, hit the skeleton. There's lots of empty space. But
yeah,
also, it's a
least
giant skeleton, so the bones are bigger.
Could you tie it down with vines?
Chunky bones.
Yeah.
The other thing too, I mean, one of the abilities that Riona has is no monstrosity, and this definitely qualifies.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. What you would know about this particular type of undead is, I mean, beyond the fact that they're just huge, they're also very strong, and faster than you would think.
Okay.
And and you have to kind of defeat the spirit binding it as well as the body, or it will just regenerate. Most effective is prayer. Believe it or not. Or very effective is prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Just yelling insults at it is not as effective. Cleric versus bard.
So
yeah.
I'll relay that information to Pax and the
Mhm.
church militant since I'm with them.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna try to get up closer to Darren and Alwyn.
Okay.
Trying to think if I want to. Yeah, I'll go ahead and shoot at the skeleton.
Sure. Okay.
I'll spend 1 point of warfare for that.
Okay.
Because I'm not super concerned about actually hitting it.
All right.
That's 3 to hit.
Okay. All right. That is not quite enough to hit its threshold, so that does kind of spang. You hit, it just kind of spangs off the bone and just off into. It's the angle was a little too high. It's like, you know, you feel like you can land a shot on this thing. It's just that it's also more likely to glance off if you don't hit it well. Okay. Who's going after you?
Let's see. There's Pax and the church militant, and has a Darren gone?
Not yet. No.
Darren has not.
Okay. Let's say a Darren.
Okay.
Okay. Feeling awfully out of my depth here.
Which is surprising, really surprising, because y'all are very, very deep.
But Tish.
No. Dang. Okay. Sorry, I was trying to look at my notes here to find what I was looking for, and I'm not sure I wrote that down. There it is. Okay, that's what I was looking for. Okay, I'm going to use prophecy in an interesting way that we have not used it yet, because I keep forgetting that we can do this.
I'm good with it. Yes, let's do. Tell me about it.
It says in combat, you can spend 2 points and choose a general ability, and for the rest of the scene, you roll 2 dice and choose the result you prefer for those tests.
Nice. Okay. Which general ability are you planning on using? Oh, so it's 2 points of prophecy.
Is there a question?
Why?
Were you expecting anything else?
No. Why? That's okay. Yes. No. I walked into that one. No. That's okay.
Yeah. So definitely, so I have advantage with sorcery now.
Yep. You're rolling at the advantage with sorcery because you just kind of, I'm like picturing that is like just kind of getting into a fugue state where you're almost like doing kind of what you need. Doing what you kind of need to get into that prophecy zone where you're just starting to see enough into the future to go, okay, I'm going to choose this instead of this kind of, okay. Yeah, that's good. That's awesome.
Is that my whole action, or can I do a thing?
Well, I would think that prophecy would be something. I don't know. No, I'm fine with. What would you like to do?
I will use sorcery.
Okay.
And I am going to.
Amazing! I didn't see that coming.
I want to trip the giant with shadows and make it fall over.
Well, all right then.
As it starts to walk, I want it to go thump.
Okay. That's all right. That's very good. That's essentially a restrain maneuver. So that's as an attack to restrain. Okay, fair enough. All right. So that's so it's gonna be able to, so that's same hitting its health threshold, which you know is higher than 3. That's what Riona got and did not hit. So all right. So go ahead and are you spending any, do you want to spend any points of sorcery or?
Yes.
Okay.
I am gonna spend 2 points.
Okay.
And I just add it to my die roll.
Yep, add it to your die roll and
I'm glad I did that because I rolled a 2, so that makes it a 4.
okay.
Wait, no, I have advantage on sorcery. I can do it again.
Yeah.
Yes, roll again and see, and roll again and add 2 and see.
Well,
if you
that
do
was
better.
a 3, so I'll take that one to make it a 5.
Okay. All good. All right. So roll damage as well, right? Because it's if I remember right, the maneuver is they have to it's that -2 is they have to either spend that amount. What
Take
you roll for
damage
damage,
equal to difficulty. Roll.
right?
If successful, the result is the difficulty. So it's a difficulty of 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they would.
And they have to accept the effect of,
Okay.
tripping and falling, or take damage
Or take-
equal to the difficulty -2.
So they would only take 3 damage. That seems weaker somehow. Okay. Well, all right.
I mean, because I'm doing this as a regular maneuver, unless you think it counts as a sorceress maneuver. 'Cause I'm not spending corruption. Like I'm just trying to trip it.
I get that. But I mean, if you were just doing a sorceress attack, it would be D6 + 1 with a minimum of 2 points because you spent 2 sorcery points. So see what I mean? Because that would you might possibly have a 7 with the 5. Well, either way.
Well, okay, it says make an attack.
Mm-hmm.
If successful, the result equals the difficulty. So is the roll
Okay.
just the attack? Sorry, maneuvers are really confusing to me. I do not understand how they work.
I feel like you wind up roll. I'm gonna say let's roll the damage because I feel like that's gonna get you a higher target number. They have to take that more seriously but I don't know. You're still only rolling it's a D6 + 3 or D6 + 1 in this case with a minimum of 3. It's the same thing. I guess 3 points is fine. We'll do
I
that.
didn't add the 1 for sorcery, so if we add that in, then that
Call
would
that
make
a
it
4. Yeah, okay.
We'll make it a total of 6, and then if they choose to accept it, then the damage is 4. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Alrighty. Who's going? Next important question is who's going next in initiative order?
Well,
You have Pax, Oleander, the Church Militant, the Skeleton, or the mysterious figure that Alwyn has just put a hand on.
I'm gonna choose the mysterious figure. That way, we still have at least 1 PC left after the enemies go.
Okay.
We'll hope.
I have faith in you, Pax.
Okay. So yeah, you put a hand on the figure's arm, and kind of to move them out of the way or turn them around, or what's the intent there?
Kind of see who they are and how
Okay.
enraptured they are in this process. Are they actually just seeing through Codus's eyes,
Okay.
or are they basically like completely drained of energy? Are they shocked through like they've been hit by a storm?
Okay. Now, what languages do you speak, Alwyn?
That's a great question. I have 2 ranks in Forgotten Lore. Can
Okay.
it be whatever this guy's saying?
I'm just curious if I know Darren speaks Serpentine.
Oh, I
Right.
definitely speak Serpentine
Okay.
because that's the only other language I know at the time.
So
Each
for
rank is
everyone who
fluency in 2 languages, so you would be fluent in 4.
just if you don't speak Serpentine, and if you're watching at home and you don't speak Serpentine, just assume what I'm saying from now is just hissing noises and stuff like that. But the figure kind of rises up, grabs your hand, and becomes
Kisses me?
taller and says, "How dare you touch me?" And when it does turn, so you do get to see who it is, but they're kind of like holding your hand up, and they can get taller because from about here down, it's just coiled snake body, and from here up, it is kind of serpent woman, with the problematic exception that they're kind of decayed and mummified, and you can kind of see extra bones. And if I'm trying to I really didn't want to go Google what mummified snakes look like, and I don't recommend it to anyone. But yes,
I'm immediately doing it. I'm sorry.
Jaw kind of
Does it immediately.
when she speaks, the jaw kind of opens wider than it should, and maybe is like drawn back a lot more. The ribs are clearly obvious, and it's, how dare you touch me, and lets you go. Just kind of like where your hand, where you had grabbed their arm, they kind of pick it up and kind of toss you to their feet. Not like in any kind of damaging way, but just kind of just rises up and yeah. I think they will choose we're going to choose Oleander to go next. And Oleander gets to make an attack on the skeletal giant, who is a very large and immediate threat. So yeah, kind of right up there with, like, but Riona's shot at it with an arrow, so Oleander is like getting up a little closer to. I mean, the lantern kind of, it's a very interesting motion because it kind of just dips the spear down, and because it's just hooked on, the lantern's just kind of hooked onto it. With just enough practice, she's learned to just set that down, and then it's just in a kind of smooth motion, and then is charging with the spear to attack, and does some damage. The skeleton, you know, it's kind of interesting that it has this kind of same hurt reaction of just, even though it, you know, it's just like chipping into bone. It's invisible flesh, I guess, or just the memory of flesh or something. You know, it's that kind of phantom limb thing, I guess. But it does act hurt. And then Oleander will choose probably the church militant guys, who will also make an attack on this thing. This is I'm like, I may just kind of have that just be, I think I'm probably going to have those guys be just kind of a fixed amount of things, so we can kind of skip past their turn, because it feels like having those NPC conversations where two NPCs are talking to one another. I'm just rolling combat turns with myself, which is not ideal, you know. So but now the church militant is going to choose Pax.
Oh, yay.
Leaving the skeleton who hasn't gone yet.
Yeah. Okay, so first of all, I wanted to see if I could use my drives to replenish my spirit sight. And
I mean, yeah, okay. Tell me about this.
Okay, so the first one is that one of Pax's drives is, my duty is to Denari and her people, so I will do what I need in order to help them. What needs to happen that applies here. Is that goes away.
Yeah, I feel like, that would definitely, you're in one of those situations. Yeah, okay.
The second one, this gets weird, sentimentally thing. For like very quick backstory, I have a song that I specifically chose for the other players once I found out that everybody else was a sorcerer. That has a salt lyric where it goes, "Please don't lose what makes you human," because Pax has seen what happens to sorcerers that let that go too far. So Pax, I chose that because we established that they already had kind of a relationship. So Pax worries about those people. Aww. One of the other Pax wish is, you know, my family has done so much for me, I need to repay them. So I want to, by extension, they also are included, because not only does it protect her family in real life, but also if she can do anything to help them as they've helped her, then I would like to use that drive as well to give me a second level of spirit sight.
No, I can buy both of those. That seems reasonable.
Yeah.
All right.
So that'll give me
there's 2 points, restoring 2 points of spirit sight. Okay.
which I am immediately going to throw back at the bone giant and pray to Denari and say, your people need to be protected. Help us.
Okay.
And I want to dump all 3 of this leftover spirit sight points
Okay.
to try and pray, pray this thing back or weaken it enough to make this easier.
Okay. So all right.
Kind of like I did with the flesh angle.
Yeah, so this is and again, this is kind of working the same way. It's going to be a sway attack because you're attacking its morale.
Yes.
So I guess in this case you're convincing Denari, I suppose, not the giant. It's not hey skeleton giant go away. It's hey Denari, hear this prayer and maybe smite this thing for me, pretty please, kind of thing. But much like a sorceress attack, because you're spending a couple of points of you don't have to spend both of them, by the way, if you don't want to. But each one is another.
As much damage as possible.
Okay. But I will tell you that spirit and intellect is not this thing's main dealio. So that may be overkill. Just throwing that out there. Because if you spend 1 point of spirit sight, you're rolling 2 dice for damage on this. So
and then I need to
and the difficulty to hit it is lower as well. So I mean, it's again because
how much
morale is not its strong suit.
Okay, and critting, I rarely ever crit. So how much is it? To crit? What does it do again?
It's 5 more than its threshold, and in this case, you would need an 8.
Okay, because I have not used a lot of my sway yet, and I still have 6 whole points.
Okay. Yeah. So if you wanted to guarantee a crit, then you can't, because you just spend all 6 points. You'd still need to roll a 2, but
yeah,
that's up to you to risk it. But that would be another d6, so you could spend 1 point of spirit sight and all of your sway, hope for a crit, and roll 3 dice to knock this thing on its ass, which is definitely would be super impressive. Yes, I'm down.
Right.
If you want to do that.
Why not? Sure.
I'm with you. You know how I love to celebrate
finale.
when you guys
I'm pretty sure we're gonna get
you know how I love when you celebrate. Yeah.
So
yes, it is true. This is definitely smoke them if you got them time.
Yes. So yeah. Okay. So I'm using the 6 points.
You know how I want to celebrate when you guys crit. So that's
okay. Unicorn dice, do not fail me now. I rolled a 4.
Nice.
Okay. Plus 6 is 10.
To hit 10. So that would be 3 dice for the damage.
Yep.
Okay.
A die for normal, a die for 1 point of spirit sight. You can still keep another in your pocket, and then a die for critting.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, I have to turn over here to roll these.
Okay.
I'm using, so check and see, I have a fancy little.
Oh,
I know. I've seen those.
It's so much fun, except for when the mouth spits my dice back at me and they fall in my lap and go on the floor, and I never know what I roll.
I think I saw somebody they had put a little bit of padding in the bottom to keep the dice from flipping out. I don't know. I'll have to find that where I read that and see if I can figure out what kind of padding.
While we're on break.
There you go.
Let me do this one.
You should make the pad bright red so it has a tongue.
That is going to be 14 points of morale damage.
Ooh.
Okay.
So.
Okay. It had 3, so.
Damn, Pax.
So
Pax kind of looks like they're going to pass out, but
Pax did not come here to play.
Yeah.
Hex
so basically, Pax makes this request. So what does this look like when the power of Denari kind of shines down this entire deep hole to spear this thing in the top of the head with the glow of commerce and knock it on its ass?
Oh, it's definitely a super sparkly gold beam, the color of the money. There may be occasional, in the beam, occasional swan flickers.
I would say, yeah. Does it sound like a slot machine when it pays off? It's gonna ding 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 ding, all the coins falling or
Like
something.
vaguely in the background of like the sound effect that gets played when this happens in the movie.
Jeez. Yep.
As it just bing. Like it's a lot of like bing
Okay.
noise as it hits and then ow for the thing.
All right. That does, and it just like bam! It probably lifts it off its feet and flings it against the back wall of this chamber, cracking it, and it just kind of and lands on its butt. Doesn't move.
Does it look
Who's
any
going
different
next?
on the other side? Really quick. Oh, if you don't mind me asking. Does it look
Um,
any different on the other side? Does it look like
I
the
would
other-
say that it looks well. The kind of CODIS inside it, the glowing eyes, the storm form of this thing, is it kind of fades but isn't gone.
Oh. Well, I guess that's its turn then.
Did my
Yeah,
attack
and
have
it-
any
it's-
effect? Did it fall? Sorry. Like, because I
Okay.
tried
The-
to trip it.
It hasn't moved yet. Besides getting
Well,
launched
no, what it has
backwards.
been, what has been yanked from its position. I imagine that probably is part of why it landed on its ass, because it would have. But you know what? I'm gonna say that it inadvertently cannot choose otherwise than to take that damage.
Nice.
So, yeah, okay. Slam. Well, it is its turn, but it doesn't get one because it's. So who's next? Who's starting the next round? You have everyone to choose from, plus the Serpentine sorceress, and
don't want that to
say
have
say
a
that
turn.
5 times. Say that really fast, and and Oleander and the. Oleander and the Church Militant, which sounds like a band, and I'm just going to lump them actually together.
They start a band during the break.
Oleander and the Church Militant. Yes, I think there's a T-shirt idea for us.
Since
But
Alwyn
Josie and the
got-
Pussycats, only different.
Oh, different.
Oh my gosh. Because Cole put, I have at least three interesting ideas, and Cole did get thrown a little bit.
All of the
Mhm.
bad
Southern
though.
slang. Yes. I want to see what happens. I want to see all bad ideas that are three interesting.
That's not me
Do one
throwing
of 'em.
shade, by the way, for the audience. That is literally what Cole
That's
said.
actually what I
Yes.
said. All of them are
Yes.
bad.
Yes,
I want to hear the bad
you know,
ideas. So I want.
Yeah, I mean,
Cole would like to
Cole
out of the
Cole is one of my interesting plot generators. I guarantee Jamie feels the same way. But yes, Cole is one of the players in my group. I mean, all of them do this at some point or another, but Cole is one of my players that's like, wait, they want to do what? Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I guess Alwyn, you get to start the next turn off. Yeah. So this hidden figure is no longer hidden and is clearly some sort of bad news.
So, Adarin told us about a serpentine figure that spoke to her directly in a vision.
Mhm.
Is there, you know what? Nothing will ever get past me in knowledge. Is there any chance I can just like step around her and start looking at the altar? Does it still have power in it? Does it still have anything interesting?
I mean, she's throwing you kind of to her. She's, again, if you were kind of coming up behind her back to you, and she has kind of spun when you touched her and kind of thrown you at your feet. So you're facing the altar. She's facing away from it. So you can clearly see it behind her.
Technically throw her too if she's a skeleton.
Skeletal. There's
skeletal.
still skin on there, but it's kind of like some of the muscles underneath have maybe rotted away.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when it kind of
Okay.
jerky shrinks when it's anyway.
But yeah. Do I notice anything strange about the altar itself?
compared to all the other Serpentine Empire altars you've seen in your days,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, you know.
I mean, it is
What's the vibe?
definitely an arcane, powerful, strange thing. It is kind of that ziggurat square looking. It's got a little bit kind of pyramid thing on the top. Might even have what looks like blood grooves coming out the sides, and the sides of it are in serpentine and are like
Real quick, what did that say?
magical things, mostly involving power to the Serpentine Empire kind of thing.
Use this
It's
for
very
magic. Break altar in case of emergency.
It's like, the white zone is for sacrifice and sacrifice only. The toilet paper goes over the roll, over like a waterfall, never under.
Are they going to attack me if I just sidestep, go straight to the altar?
Probably. Yes, I would imagine so.
Okay, well, nothing gets in the way between me and knowledge.
Okay.
I would like to use that drive to refresh my 1 point of corruption. And I'm
Okay.
going to say to her in Serpentine, "You are a relic of a bygone era. Fall to dust and get away from me." And I want to use that corruption, 2 points of corruption, to turn her into a statue.
Okay.
That's a sorcerer's attack.
Yes, it is. That's definitely a sorcerer's attack. All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you need to. All right. Tell me about this. How many points of sorcery are you?
2.
Okay.
So that brings it from 3 down to 1.
And this feels definitely like an attack against health.
Oh, for sure.
Okay. Sure. All right. And then a point of sorcery. Are you spending that point of sorcery for a bonus to hit, or are you saving it for damage?
Damage for the points of corruption. I'm spending 5 points of sorcery to ensure I succeed.
Okay. All right then.
Listen, when I want to hit something, I want to hit it hard.
That is going to hit. You don't have to roll to hit. That will hit her health threshold.
Well, what
I would
though?
do the exact same thing.
That's true. If you do it, if you rolled it, so it,
9.
all right. Yeah, you want to roll. Okay, D6 plus 9 will not quite beat the threshold, or not. Well, it won't be a crit. That's a hit. Absolutely a hit. But you need to beat it by 5 to crit.
Okay, I'm guessing it's pretty high up.
Do you want to spend 2 more points of sorcery to get to that?
Yes, always.
Spend them after the fact. All right, cool. Then you will magically
Nice.
crit, or you will crit on that magic roll. So you, how many points of corruption? 1,
2
plus another for the crit. So that's gonna be a total of 4 dice.
All right, and
the minimum you can get on one of them is a 6. So
Okay.
so maybe just roll 3 and add 6 to that, and add 7. So yeah, okay.
So first one,
Mhm.
second one.
Okay, you could also just R3d6, but okay.
Yeah.
So
I was thinking about that.
So anyway, so that 3 very good rolls, 2 5s and a 6. So that's almost as good as you get on 3d6 plus 7. So okay, 6 to 18 and 5 is
23.
23. Okay.
I do want to
That
say this
is-
is the most terrifying use of sorcery Alwyn has done yet.
Mm-hmm.
It feels
Turning
good,
someone to
doesn't
stone.
It feels real
Mhm.
good.
So 2 points of corruption means that your corruption test is going to be a health check. Your difficulty is 5 in this case because you spent 2 points of corruption. Would you like to spend any health to
Yeah, I'll
assist
spend.
on and make that roll?
I'll spend 2 because I want to internalize for the specific reason I don't want to fuck up this altar.
All right.
I'm short.
Okay. Well, that's all that means, other than you've spent couple of points of health, is that the change to your body is going to be something obvious, something that everyone can see. So probably, face or on your arms or hands or.
I think reaching into the skeletal person comes back to bite Alwyn in a very certain way. I'm kind of going to borrow Fire in the Dark here. Those stone eyes, one of the eyes now turns more ghost-like, as well as the hands. The very hand that reached into the Serpentine.
As in ghost-like, as in
it's
transparent?
Spectral. Yeah. If Pax looked at Alwyn would still have that spectral, but the hand would look like it was just staying in the ghost realm the entire time.
Well, I mean, I think, again, this is something that's obvious to people. So it is a hand that is like you can see through the flesh.
Oh,
you can see the veins and the bones and the nerve endings and things like that, and it just kind of becomes more solid as it goes up your arm. Okay, so becoming less substantial instead of more in this case. That's interesting. Okay. All right, and for their part, this sorceress, you can kind of hear the crumble and the creak of stone as parts of that flesh transform into rock and into dust, and that the skin color becomes more ashen and more granite, more concrete looking, and less of
Ashen works. No, Ashen works.
I mean, yeah, it does.
Oh.
Never change, Cole. Never change.
Wow.
Our producer has left the building.
That wasn't me. I didn't do it, by the way. When it comes time to whether we get to do another show for the next season or not, I didn't do it. Anyway, initiative-wise, who is going next?
Hey, Oleander. What you thinking of doing?
Letting the band go. Band is going to fight the. Actually, they are gathering around the skeleton, and based on what Riona has told them, still hitting it. And just basically with spears and with kind of getting up close, Oleander has broken her, well, not broken, but it comes apart, it's supposed to, into 2 shorter weapons to whack away. They're meant for close fighting. So you have a nice spear for range, but when it gets tight, you can break it apart and fight with both sides. Anyway. And I think they will choose I think they're going to choose to let the bad guys go. They're going to choose the skeleton to see what happens. And in this case, what happens is that it stands up. And you can now, people that aren't Pax can see the fiery glow. It's not fiery, more electrical, like lightning flashing inside the sockets of the skeleton.
Blah.
Kind of like it has that yellow glow, but it's like the glow when lightning is going off inside a cloud. You know, that you kind of can see that light. And so it is going to get up, and well, it's not happy, and is definitely shaken, but is going to swing. It has an ability called universal attack, which is going to take some of its power. But universal attack is an attack, and it rolls against everyone.
Oh,
That
boy.
is the swinging that obelisk, kind of really pretty much at torso height through like the whole group of everyone in the room. So let me roll. Matt, you need to not be where you are. Okay, so that is an attack modifier of 8. So where does that land on everybody's threshold? It beats. Just let me know if it beats anybody's threshold by 5. Does it beat anybody's health threshold by 5? Anybody have a health threshold of 3? So
All of us.
Everyone except Riona has a health threshold of 3. Okay.
Yay,
Okay.
armor!
I
have
am
armor.
wearing armor.
I have armor.
Armor's
Should
good.
have
Armor.
1 armor.
And
Armor
all
is
the
good.
guards.
Wards
Oh,
are
sorry.
good.
Next to have
That's
wards.
that's
Oh, yeah,
to
wards.
lower damage. Yeah, you should get more health.
Mm-hmm.
Invest in more health. Maybe consider that.
Yes. If you can get your health up to 8, that will increase your health threshold, makes it harder to hit. So yeah, in this case, everyone that doesn't get hit with a critical takes 7 points. If you do get hit with a critical, it's 10. You've been hit with basically a structural support.
I will use my ward. Knock that down by 5.
That reduces, yeah. If you have a ward and it will cut it in half, and then that ward goes away, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I would like
And
to attempt to dodge.
And Darren, yeah, as you say, there you go. That's a possibility. Pax, I believe, can also attempt to dodge. You just need to. I think the attack roll was 7. Yeah, that's what you need to be. A 7. I rolled No, it's a 6. Attack roll is a 6. No, it's not. No,
Okay.
It is a 7. No, hang on. I know what I rolled to hit. Is it enough to crit on people that had a threshold of 3? It's an 8. That's what.
Yeah,
you
it
need.
critted on me, so
aware.
it's 10 points of damage.
Yeah.
I have 7 points of health.
You can
and
also
1 point of armor. I do not have any forgotten lore left, because it's really hard to get back investigative abilities, and I chose to get back corruption.
Mm-hmm.
I was outside of the range of Alvin's ward.
Okay.
So I'm taking 9 points of damage. I don't know that
passing
there is a
out.
way.
I think passing out.
No, I get to roll to see if I pass
Yep.
out.
So
Yep,
yeah, you're
yep,
hurt
yep.
now.
You're hurt. Definitely
So-
hurt.
To dodge, it's an 8 that I need.
Yes.
I believe in you.
Okay.
What is the thing that I? What is the? It's a health roll, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what do I
And-
have to beat?
I believe to stay conscious. I'll look that up while Kitty's doing her.
I
Good
rolled a
God.
6 and spent
Okay.
1 point of athletics ahead of time. So I will spend 2 more points of athletics to make it an 8
Okay.
and not take 7 damage.
Okay.
I will duck under that thing. Duck and roll.
Right. Okay. And then. Okay, and yeah, so
Actually,
mm-hmm.
I
Mhm.
can spend an investigative ability to gain an armor of 4 for this round.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you can.
So I think I'm gonna do that.
Sounds
I
like
think that's a good idea.
Yeah. I think I'll spend a point of ability because I have points in it and never am in a situation to be able to use it.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
So...
So how has your noble ancestry kind of prepared you for this moment, or how has it facilitated your adventuring in such a way?
I think it's more of like it has given me that kind of like, I am extremely stubborn and I deserve the best things and I deserve to come out on top, and this is not how I am going to die because I am a noble and I am not dying in a fucking hole in the ground.
Okay, so since
Just giving herself
this
some
is,
crit.
I'm also I was gonna say this is also, I mean, maybe is this a situation where it is revealed that Adarin actually has like some custom-made armor or something that underneath clothes or whatever it is finally revealed?
My jacket is armor, and it was custom made for me.
I mean, so yeah, maybe it's
I think I just
very
kind of
strong, or
like
it's
dig
sorcerously
down,
enhanced or something, or
I
mean,
just really dig down
no,
deep,
yeah, just the
and I'm
grit
just like,
or whatever.
absolutely not. You know, like refuse.
All right.
Stepping your way out of damage.
I'm not gonna be hit as hard as you think you are.
Okay, then you would wind up taking 5.
5 points of
the-
damage, which has to be
one
still on
armor
my
plus one.
feet.
Yes, size you on your feet. There you go. Okay. Fair
Excellent.
oleugh.
So I'm at 2
So-
points of health.
Mhm.
And because
Yeah.
I'm so stubborn, I don't even scream when I get hit. Refuse.
Oleander, on the other hand, does cry out because
Oh,
she's
no.
concerned. But she doesn't get to go until next round, so
I think
I
it's just
think-
to like, and just like make a face and like at this thing. I'm
Mhm.
unhappy.
I think perfect, which is reasonable. And I think so, yeah, I think that'll be the skeleton will choose. Orlando's had a chance at it. I think we'll let Riona go.
All right.
It's not
So I
looking
stood back
happy.
up.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm just gonna shoot at it again.
Okay.
I'll save the sorcery for later.
Okay.
I'm going to spend 2 points of warfare and a point of tactics of death, because why not?
Okay. Nice. So yeah, tactics of death this is your bread and butter. This is, I mean,
Yeah.
normally this is
The-
where you take out like hordes and hordes of mooks, but there aren't hordes and hordes of mooks
Yeah.
at this point. So. I will say this:
so-
both of these are worth a whole lot of refresh. By the way,
I would bet. They're
Mhm.
big. The
Mhm.
tactics of death I'm going to put toward accuracy.
okay. To get a crit here, you need a 9.
Well, I got a 10.
Well, that'll work then. Perfect. Yes.
When I
I
get-
love it when you guys. I love when you guys crit. So that's yeah. So D6 plus what your weapon bonus plus another D6, and the minimum that you can do is your warfare on one of those D6.
9 damage.
Okay. Nice.
I was thinking through the damage as you were saying that, and it's like, wait, what? It briefly confused me.
I that pretty much happens to everyone I talk to. So it's not, but okay, cool. Yes, it does also kind of stagger back because you like. Probably, I mean, shooting it more than once as well. I think critical hit that it easily could look like more than one shot as well. So, all right, yeah, and then who goes after that? Who's next for Riona? Who is Riona choosing to?
How about Adarin? Stephanie really wants to go.
I can't imagine.
I'm angry. I'm pissed at this. I am going to, since I'm no longer in the shadows, just like stand up really straight, very stubbornly. It's just like, I am too stubborn to die, is kind of the impression you get from this. And I'm gonna look this thing right in the eye, and I'm gonna lift my hand, and its shadow is gonna come up.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to have the shadow just like double hand the shadow obelisk right across his head and try to knock its head off his shoulders.
Okay.
So I'm going to make a sorceress attack.
Mhm.
I'm going to spend 4 points on that, and I still have advantage on that. And then I'm
Yep.
going to spend the point of corruption to add an extra die to the damage.
Okay. Dang. All right. Nice, nice, nice.
I don't want to roll those two. I want to roll these two. Ah, nice. I rolled a 4 plus a 4 is an 8 to hit it. It's the threshold.
You also get to roll again.
No, I rolled
You
two
had-
dice at the same time.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you have advantage.
Yeah, I rolled 2 dice at the same time.
And you got a 9, you said?
An 8.
An 8.
Oh no,
a
plus
9.
1 because it's a source of text, so it is a 9.
Okay.
I always forget
That is
about that.
That's a crit. That's a
Yes!
critical hit. So that's 1 dice plus a dice for the corruption plus a dice for the critical. Okay. All right. And how many points of sorcery did you spend?
4.
4. So one of those d6 has a minimum of 4.
How many d6 am I rolling again? Is it 3 or 4?
3d6, and
Okay.
one of them 3d6 plus 1 for sorcery. So 3d6 plus 1, and one of the dice is a minimum of 4.
Okay. So I rolled 2 4s and a 2. So
I'm gonna
that's,
bet you're gonna say
8,
the
10,
2 is
9,
a minimum
11?
of 4, so that's 12.
Yeah.
13 points of damage?
Yeah. Just pissed as hell.
Guys, nice. All right. Okay. Who goes after you? I mean, it just
Well, I
like
have to roll
it
my-
does.
I have to roll my health check.
That's
to
true.
see if I get
see
further
how
grounded.
transformed you get. Yes. All right.
So that's 4 that I have to
Mhm.
beat.
Difficulty of 4.
Look, I'm in for a penny, I'm in for a pound. I'm not gonna spend any health points. I rolled a 1. I have another noticeable change.
All right. Did you figure that out? Cool.
Oh
Figure
no,
that
I
out
know
and-
what
and
it
who-
is. I know what it is.
Okay. Yeah, you've got
Uh,
these all planned out. Do you turn
I
into a lizard,
do.
don't you?
I do. Until I turn into a snake, specifically.
Yep,
not
fair
a
enough.
lizard.
So-
Yeah, I think the camera is just like focusing on my angry face. And I think it's that thing that happened on signing day, but then went away because of the time travel. It's back now. And instead of
Mhm.
having just like fully black eyes where you can't tell the difference between the iris and the pupil,
Mhm.
I have bright green eyes. Like
Okay.
that kind of like snake looking green.
Okay. That iridescent kind of okay. So who's going after you? The Serpentine Sorceress or Pax?
I'm sorry to do this to you again, Pax. But I'm afraid of the Serpentine Sorceress, like, then choosing the giant, and then the giant choosing her, and then her choosing the giant. So, we're gonna say the Sorceress.
Okay. She hears Denari's name spoken by Pax. And kind of whirls on you. How dare. Well, I guess for Pax, you don't speak Serpentine.
Alan's behind
Kind of-
her translating.
She's translating. He's like, I believe she said something along, how dare you? Anyway, but yeah, it's for, I guess this would be the scene that there's like the subtitles for the audience or something. But it's like, you bring up that murderous bitch in my presence.
I don't know
How
what you're
dare.
saying. This means absolutely fuck all to me.
Insolent. Insolent. Descendant of rats. Rats.
Monkeys, actually.
Descended from rats originally. Fucking mammals, all of you. And is going to attack with sorcery. Or actually, but using an attack. Yep, okay. I need to power this up. Double check a thing real quick. There we are. Thank you. Da, da, da. All right. Yeah. She just kind of rears up, and in the shadows, I'm going to do it's a fear ability, which spends a little bit of her ability, but it is just straight up 3 morale points of damage. Just that kind of your entire species should not exist kind of vibe. And I am personally going to see that you go extinct one at a time, starting with the people in this room kind of feel. I mean, like, doesn't actually grow any larger, but feels like she takes up more space. It's kind of like the camera kind of drops down, just looking up, and they get huge, and almost the hood of the cloak just kind of does that kind of cobra hood kind of thing. But yeah, it is definitely a fear vibe, and the camera will get that across somehow. So yeah, just go ahead and this isn't even the thing you roll. It's just they just do morale damage. So just everyone in the room takes 3 points of morale damage.
There's no overcoming that.
It's a sorceress effect. It blows a certain amount of power, which they have a limited amount of ability to do. But yeah, they're.
Does grit have any effect on that, or no?
The Forgotten Lore, this is a lich. This is somebody who has an extreme amount of power, and yeah, has the sorceress knowledge to back it up. So yeah, maybe this is a spell that is going to get past defenses or something. It is definitely an effect, and maybe that's that moment of realization, and that's why Darren takes that morale damage. Is like, hang on, fuck, how is she? Oh no, this is I know what this would be in a human. Oh god, we're in trouble kind of situation.
Right. So there's grit that's not affected. It's the full 3 points.
Grit. You can subtract grit. Yes.
Okay.
So 3 minus grit. Yeah, it doesn't bypass grit.
Okay.
But it is. But there's not like a defense or roll or anything. It's just kind of here's some morale damage because I'm scary. But yes, I think for the actual attack on Pax, yeah, that's going to be spell casting, and that's corruption. Yay! But he also doesn't care about externalizing it, so I don't think that's going to hit your. That's a 4. Does that hit your morale, Pax? Does that hit your morale threshold?
I may be wrong. I'm gonna have to deal with the consequences of that, but that would.
Okay.
Because I have mine set to 3 right now. I don't.
Do you have 8? Do you have 8 morale? Do you have 8 morale?
I have 9 of each.
Okay,
it's at 10.
You should.
It bumps up at 10.
It bumps up at 10. Okay. I thought it was at 8. 8's when you get the knack on a skill. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Of.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so I kept mine even at 9. So.
Yep. Okay. Oh man, you have some build points. Do you want to spend them really fast? Health and morale are general abilities. So if you have some advancement, you can spend 1 point of each and bump them both to 10.
I used them to get more spirit sight.
Oh, well, never mind then. Yes, I'm just. I
wanted to be a little bit more eerie, but
No, that's cool. No, you're gonna be real eerie in a minute.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it is a blast of what feels like spiritual energy. You feel like you're knocked back in both the spirit realm and the world for about 6 points of morale. And will push you off your feet towards the wall. This is a kind of a beam of, this is like ghostly white energy. This is just like raw fireball kind of power.
So yeah, that in addition means that I am now in the hurt range for morale. So
okay. That is that is a -1 on, basically it's kind of where you get for morale that they use terms like panic and just panicky and just kind of not necessarily you're kind of starting to lose thinking clearly and stuff, and that's
spaghetti.
And upsetting spaghetti is that's a good first level, and then panic could be the second level. Yeah. But yeah, that's effect, and that effect is a -1 on rolls. So as far as how that effect comes out, and you can also role play, that you're getting that -1 because. Okay, but after that, she has to choose you to go next. So.
Okay.
Also, the roll you would make to stay in the fight with the morale would be a morale check.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I need to make a morale check then.
Yep.
So that Pax doesn't just become a little pile of panic on the floor.
Yep.
Just weeping.
And difficulty 4 on this, I think, if I remember right. Mm-hmm.
So,
okay.
All right.
That's a 3.
That's a 3. Okay. So yeah,
I'm in danger.
It's kind of a. So tell me how you're no longer effective in the fight.
Oh, no.
It's not. You don't necessarily have to pass out, but this is more of a maybe you just kind of space or go comatose or just kind of like disassociate completely. Step into the spirit realm. I mean.
Okay, so you said the force knocked them down.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that the morale check, along with the fact that Pax is very hypersensitive to the amount of corruption and everything at the moment, it gets to the point where Pax is flipping back and forth very quickly and basically is sitting there very unaware of which side they're in anymore, and they're just sitting there completely like collapsed back, like staring at her completely, just very shallow breaths, just like.
I imagine from the outside that just because has such powerful spirit sight, that Pax is probably kind of flickering like bad film because she's in and out of reality and not in control of that. So that's going to be Pax not acting this round, but you do still get to tell me who goes next, who goes first in the next round.
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna let Riona go next.
Okay.
Well, I just chill on the floor.
So if I am planning to use a drive, can I use it to get a point back and then immediately spend that point on an attack? Awesome.
Absolutely.
So
you get the point back immediately. You can do whatever you want with it after that. Yeah.
All right. So I have 2 drives that kind of work here. Protect.
Okay.
Protect and help those who need it, and also no one messes with my family. Pax is considered family, and someone just tried to mess with her. I don't like that.
Fairly successfully, actually. So yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna use that one to get Tactics of Death back. A point of Tactics of Death.
Mm-hmm.
And then
are we switching targets?
Yeah, we're switching targets. Also method.
Okay. Fun.
Riona's mad.
Excellent.
I'm using lots of points. All right. I don't like this snake person. I am going to use a point of Tactics of Death, a point of Spot Frailty, a point of Corruption, and 4 points of Sorcery.
Okay.
Nice.
To hopefully make the snake go away forever, or at least till they respawn.
At the respawn point, which is clearly at this altar, but yeah.
We'll have time to break the altar first, probably. Let's see.
So you're spawn camping. That's great. She's gonna go on forums.
Pax is like flickering in and out, and Riona sees that, and she just turns to the snake person. Her eyes, they're usually gray, they turn green, and the vine on her arm starts writhing. And how close is Alwyn to her?
Oh, I'm fairly close. I grabbed her.
Yeah. He was thrown at her feet, and it's just that Pax invoked the hated monkey goddess and got her attention. Otherwise,
Does
she'd probably
Alwyn-
be dealing with this.
Does Alwyn happen to have any coffee beans on him?
Oh, always.
Cool.
I was gonna say yes. Even if he does, he's not aware of it. It's probably in like pockets.
It's like
or,
stuck in my
like,
boot, or
Yes.
Yeah.
it's in the mouth of a cane.
The coffee beans that Alwyn has on him, all of the coffee beans Alwyn has on him, are going to sprout super quickly and just shoot at the snake as spikes. And I will see if I actually hit and stuff.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then
4
how
points
much
of
damage I
sorcery?
do.
Yeah,
4 points of sorcery.
We're intending this as a health attack. It certainly
Yeah.
sounds like. Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, you want 5 to hit and 10 to crit. So you need to
Cool.
roll a 1 to hit. If you happen to roll a 6 on that d6, then even better stuff.
All right. So my spot
And-
frailty
and
and tactics
of
of
those-
death.
I was gonna say, of those 3 investigative abilities, are you spending any of them to hit, or are those all 3 going to be damage dice?
At least one is to hit.
Okay, so 4, so that's a 7. So you're definitely going to hit, and you would need to roll a 3 or better to crit.
I got 1 to crit. Or I rolled a 1. Sorry. So that's
Oh well,
8.
that's definitely a hit.
8 to hit.
That's and with two more investigative abilities is 2 dice plus the 1 dice you already got. It's 3, and then sorcery adds a point, so 3 dice plus 1, and one of those dice cannot roll any lower than a 4 because you spent 4 points of sorcery. That's a minimum on one of those d6s. That makes sense.
Would I still roll that or add that +4?
It doesn't add to the damage. The one of the d6s
It
cannot
changes
roll.
it.
Right, is a 4 or
Interesting.
5 or 6. Yeah.
Okay, so 13 damage.
Very respectable. Yeah. Okay. Not happy about that at all. Just
I'm
kind
not
of a-
happy
So
about
quickly
her.
adding extra digits to their health.
Nope. Nope. They something this big and bad comes in with X amount of health per hero. So yeah, you're guys, you're fine. You've
Are we?
definitely whittling it down.
Except for Pax.
I
Are
mean-
we sure?
Pax will be better later.
Pax does an amazing amount of damage to that skeleton.
Yeah.
You've taken half of its one of his abilities is it has to have morale and health taken out. You got one side of that equation in one hit. So yeah,
Damn.
that's very, very respectable. So all right then, who's next?
Alwyn.
Okay.
There's some trees growing out of your pockets impaling this snake thing.
I like to imagine that I got like thrown up into the air and land onto the altar because of the trees growing out of my pockets.
Tell me where you're going with this, and I might agree with you. What's the goal here?
Well, I mean, end of the day,
The
I just wanted
importance
to
of
be
the
near
altar.
the altar. I have
Okay.
2 thoughts running through my head. Number 1, is it possible to corrupt the altar to not be usable in a way? Or alternatively, she says she doesn't like Denari. Can I just summon Denari here? I have her letter. I have some of the church documents. Can I just make this altar into a statue of Denari?
Just become a
I
priest of Denari and bless this altar.
I mean, summoning the goddess is absolutely a thing you could do, and I think yes, you do have the letter and have the mark of Denari. You've saved her life once, so I think yeah, if you asked, you probably could.
Mhm.
Before he does that, I am externalizing that corruption.
Okay. Okay.
Oh no.
That was
Hey,
1
you're
point
knocked
though,
out,
right?
so-
Yeah.
Oh no.
Okay. That is something that everybody does need to know, because that is a morale attack on everyone else.
You're gonna make it worse.
You're gonna kill Pax.
I just like completely vanish.
I
How much is that gonna do?
It's only 1 point of corruption, so it's not as bad as it would have been if, like, say,
Right.
Alwyn or Darren did that.
I ignore
Right.
that with a
Usually
grit.
I
so-
only spend one.
Okay,
I've been
so
really angry
basically-
lately.
allies within a range, medium range, which is everyone, must make a morale test. And the difficulty is 3 plus the amount of cards. So it's a difficulty 4 morale test.
Do I get to?
And
Do I get to do that?
yes, you do.
Okay.
Because you can avoid taking you don't automatically have to take the 4 morale.
Oh, it's for morale.
Well, that's what you lose if you fail the morale check. Yes.
What's the threshold?
Difficulty
4.
4, loss 4. So yeah. So if difficulty 4 is what you want to hit, and if you don't make it, you lose 4 morale.
I will spend 2 points of morale to ensure I don't do that.
Okay.
Roll
Is
the
that-
3 again.
Does our threshold do
I'm
anything
not
here
having a
for
good
us or no?
But no, it's because it's not an attack. This is just it's a corruption is creepy, the twisting of reality, and yeah, I like plants grow out of the ground here.
Mhm.
Plants grew out of Alwyn's pockets.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, just the corrupting the space. That there's like little bits of clover and vine kind of coming out of the ground and out of the clay.
Mhm.
Pax at least is still only in the hurt range.
Mhm.
No, I'm now
morale
badly
damage.
wounded.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
That was like I was like, please, roll 3.
Does
Okay.
your grit work?
Oh, that's right. So
Grit would work.
Yeah.
So
okay, so now I'm right at the cusp then, because I was like right over there.
Okay.
are you
The
on the right
flickering is
side of it? or-
So
Alright.
here's my thought process. Let me know if I can do this. I have a favor from the Church of Denari, which can translate to a favor from Denari if we want to.
Mhm.
I kind of been studying the divine realm for like quite a while. I've been
Mhm.
wanting to mess with that a lot.
Mhm.
If I am able to summon Denari, can that be a sway of some kind to mixed in with sorcery to persuade her? And then if that's the case, can I also play to the crowd and get Pax back up?
I mean, you have enough sway. Play to the crowd is an ability you have. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I at least want to get Pax on their feet.
Okay.
And I want
And
to
it
try
would
to get
definitely a prayer like that is sway. You would use sway. It's
Okay.
not you don't use sorcery to pray.
cool.
Given how the church feels about sorcery, they're probably really not inclined to pray with sorcery.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, for my morale test, I rolled a 3, but I am going to basically call in my Church of Denari favor to just be
Okay.
like to use that
Yeah.
as a general investigative ability
Yep.
to get
And that would add 3.
to
Add
make my
3 to your
grit
roll.
4 so that I don't actually
Okay.
take any morale damage.
I would say, Pax, that's something you could also do if you
I
wanted
was
to
just thinking
increase your
that.
grit to avoid. I mean, may as well use those abilities. I mean, that would at least
Yeah.
keep you from getting more
Yeah.
demoralized, as it were.
Probably use that so I'm not quite as close to the.
Sounds good. Yeah, to being taken out by fear.
Yeah.
I think that's fine. All right. So give me a
That's okay.
sway roll, Alwyn. You're trying to once again trying to sway a goddess.
Yeah. Can I also cash in my favor from the Triskadane and say they got me a really good holy book to go with that to boost it more?
I mean, smoke them if you got them. Time. I'm
Yeah.
fine with that.
Cool. All 8 and 5, 6 of those goes to Pax as well to help heal that morale, and the rest of that and the favors go to Denari. I don't. How much am I rolling total?
You tell me.
So it's 8 plus favor,
Mm-hmm. So 10.
10, and then I think rolling with a flat 10 is nice. You know,
Yeah, let's see what we get. Yeah.
that's a crit on it too. That's 16 total.
Okay. So
Denari, I got a really good offer for you. This person says she knows you and she doesn't like you. You want to come talk shit? Let her talk shit like that, like underneath your own city too.
So I think probably what this kind of looks like if this was shot like kind of, I don't know, kind of almost a frenetic action scene that, you know, of the kind of camera kind of pilling around and the like cuts between people doing stuff and all that. This is the moment where everything just stops, right? The camera is kind of back away from everything, and there's just the fighting is just on a pause, and there's just a beam of light, just like a little bit of maybe way up at the top of this this kind of crater, this hole in the earth, is a little bit of sunshine, just a little bit of ray of light, and just flapping in, a swan flies into the room, just kind of lands in a distance away from this serpentine altar, probably, you know, not necessarily close to everyone. And as it lands, a young woman that you have all seen before appears in a really elegant and noble outfit. A nice dress. Is in that kind of gold color, but very, very nice, fancy. And she says, well, kind of looks over at the skeleton and says, Codus, you and I need to talk. And you need to hang on a minute. And Pax, stand up. Reset your morale.
Resets it back.
Yeah, to full.
Cool. Pax stops, like having a retro TV moment. Just stands back up. Sorry.
So, what's going on, everyone? We're gonna be out of combat for a second. I'm keeping track of where we are for the moment, but it kind of like, because we do have time shenanigans. Here's that moment of time almost stopping, but it isn't a time stop because everyone's still moving and it and all that kind of other stuff. So yeah, but yeah, okay. Oleander is just like jaw drop. You know, it's kind of a
Alwyn has sat down on the altar and it's just like breathing really heavily because that took a lot out of him.
Last time Oleander saw the goddess, she was dying. So, you know, this is a much different encounter. But yeah.
I think Darren will immediately point to the lick and say, Codus has allied with Kashigatalik here, who has made herself into a lick, and they are still trying to bring down Eversink and you.
And yes, and in Serpentine's like, it will succeed. It has succeeded already. It will always succeed. And Denari's like, that makes my head hurt.
That sounds like a really bad business for a cast.
And just like without even looking at Cash, you can tell, be like, we've rewritten the past before. Do it again.
I have underestimated. Denari's like, hang on. One thing I will deal with you in a second. Codith. The skeleton just kind of stands up. And this booming voice is like, yes. What's the deal? Your people don't respect me. She kind of, are you serious? You're serious right now. What? You act like I overreacted or something. You tried to kill me. It's just an avatar. You didn't die. You weren't gonna. This is a skeleton just kind of making these gestures. It's kind of like has the obelisk is kind of sitting down there like, you're always gonna be fine. It's just my apocalypse cults are. It's like, are you kidding me? This is a play for attention?
Owen interjects, just says, hey, listen, if you're trying to court her, this is a terrible way of doing it. Yes, I brought your
his
face to
shadow
ruin.
is back behind him, mocking him. It's like, you could do it. Like in the background.
Look,
I know a great person who gives amazing dating advice. Like, I can get y'all a business card. Y'all can go down your little avatars, sit down, have a normal conversation. Like,
Alwyn, stop helping.
I'm not the only, I'm like looking over at the church militant, like, I'm not the only one who sees it, right?
Olander's like, no, we not seeing it, not seeing it.
Oh no,
really
not her, him. He's infatuated with her in a bad way.
I don't think that makes it better.
He's a god of storms. It's
Gust of wind.
Kind of proving his point, Alwyn, shut up and stop helping.
can hit you again, little man.
And yet I still stand.
In fact,
Let's not test that theory.
you think I'm the problem? I'm not the problem. You haven't seen the whole problem yet. And takes the obelisk, raises it above his head, looming above everyone, and crashes it down onto the ground, which cracks and starts to crumble rapidly, starting near the center of the altar. And who's the closest to the altar at this point? I think Alwyn is like
Alwyn's
right there.
on it.
I am sitting on it. I am winded and tired, and I need you to take a seat.
So, and I think that the skeleton is a fair ways away with Oleander and the church militant around it. And what happens very rapidly is the floor crumbles and cracks and starts falling away to the point that it goes away and you're falling, because this altar isn't just an altar. It's the very tippy top of an entire ziggurat. And as you fall through the air, you can hear the deep splash of parts of the floor, and eventually you just plunge into water. And that's where we're going to stop season 1. We'll catch up with this next time on season 2 of Denari's Half Dozen, which I hope you'll join me for. When the Serpentine Empire comes back.
Ooh. and I helped.
And so I've been Commander Pulsar. I appreciate y'all sticking with us for a little longer episode. And I wanted to kind of give us a wonderful big ass cliffhanger ending of almost resolving things and then just making them worse. Because, well, if I wasn't going to do that, it would be Cole. So speaking of whom, we'll start. I guess I'll pick you again to start going backwards. Cole, where can we find you on the internet doing what?
Hey y'all, I'm Cole. You can find me at Ice Cold Brew on the internet as Ice Cold Brew. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram on that. You can check out the VOD where I played Cult of the Lamb on stream. That's a great game. You can also check me out over on Inside the Table, where my friend Marley and I talk about tabletop game design and just the various things about it, read through various books. This coming week, we're actually going to be talking about the Sparked by Resistance system with a good friend of ours, Scamper, who will be joining us for that episode. And yeah, go check out the finale for this show and catch up on the season on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff, and do the same for Fire in the Dark. Because, yeah, fuck.
Good stuff. Who's next?
Let's throw it to, hey, Stephanie, where can we find you at? What are you up to?
Hi, I'm Stephanie of Charm Person Games. You can find me at charmpersongames.com. I am a professional game master. You can hire me to run anything you want for you. I'm really good at creepy horror. So if you're looking for something like Vampire the Masquerade, I'm your gal. And right now, any game that you book with me is 40% off. So if you've always looked at my prices and been, oh wow, Stephanie charges, a reasonable amount for running a game for her years of knowledge, but I can't afford that. Now you can. So just reach out at charmpersongames.com. You can also reach out to us on Twitter, and we'll work something out for you there. I also make custom overlays and starting soon and be back soon screens and all that kind of thing. So you can reach out to me directly on Discord is probably the best bet, but you could also use Twitter or a Charm Person Game singular for character limits. And Aki, I'll choose you since I had to keep not choosing you.
It's okay. Hi, my name's Aki. You can find me pretty much anywhere on the internet as It's Aki. That's ITSAWKIE. I play variety games and will also be joining the Cult of the Lamb fans tomorrow over on my own channel here on Twitch. I also frequently crochet on stream and specifically do custom OC Amigurini for games like this or D&D or other things like that. Commissions might be hopefully opening by the end of the month with a couple more slots. So if you're interested, you should follow me on the things for when I announce that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Fantastic.
Kitty!
Hi, I'm Kitty. I'm an artist and a fantasy writer and an editor. I make custom fantasy maps and paint miniatures and make 3D MTG card art altars. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram as Wizardly Kitty. And you can find me on DeviantArt as Caffeinated Kitty or here on Twitch as Caffeinated Kitty. I have an art stream on Mondays and Thursdays from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. This Thursday, I think I'm going to be working on some miniatures. So tune into that if you're interested in watching me paint some miniatures. And Pulsar, where can we find you?
Fantastic. Thank you. You can find me on the internet in a little bit. I'm on Twitch and Twitter at Commander Pulsar. This will be the last time we see this room in my background, though, because I just bought a house. So I'm spending a couple of weeks to get all of my stuff from one place to another. But it gives me enough room that I'll be building a new studio and be broadcasting from that hopefully early September. So yeah, you can look forward to Lego streams there. I build Lego sets and just had to take apart every single one of them. So I'm going to have to build them all again. So that'll be a stream. And and do tabletop role-playing game stuff. I also am a professional game master at Start Playing Games. You can find me at Commander Pulsar. Surprisingly, I know that I just lucked into getting that username. And but yeah, I also will be doing that a little bit as well. I'm going to be doing a lot more tabletop role-playing game stuff as my real-life job is seasonal, and the season is ending shortly, so I'll get to do a lot more stuff online. So I'm hoping to run some good games for people and all that other fun stuff. I'd also like to shout out our amazing producer, Brandon Ashcraft, also known as Ashenworks.
Making
At
a face at us
Ashenworks
right
on
now.
Twitter and Twitter. I'm probably going to get all his information wrong, but check him out. Also at Huntsman Hydra, our wonderful channel here, running all kinds of amazing shows, doing consulting work, doing game writing work. He has a Patreon, Ko-fi, Instagram, probably a link tree, and any other connection I can think of. And he's going to jump in here and correct me in just a second. So. Okay, never mind. Maybe he won't. I don't know. I'll start making stuff up about him then.
Too tired to think.
He's also known to be Emperor of the Moon, and and has the secret third limb that he doesn't tell anyone about. And we'll find out more about that in season 2
Do you mean
of
fifth limb?
Denari's Half Dozen. Yeah, well, maybe fifth limb, sixth, maybe. I don't know. I don't know much about his people. And but anyway, I'm sure archaeologists are all very interested, and we'll see you next time on Denari's Half Dozen. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna let him turn us off if he hasn't already.